Pap, boom, pap. All right, guys, we're back. We're live. Welcome in, Meerkat people. How y'all doing on Meerkat? People on YouTube, people on Blog Talk Radio, Stitcher Radio, in iTunes land. This is the Tim Black at Night Show. I got my special guest, none other than Benjamin Dixon. It's a young brother. He's a progressive brother with progressive stances on many things. He's also well-versed in politics. He knows his stuff. That's why I invited him on. He's also a Bernie Sanders, I would say, supporter, but also he knows the policy points. So there's been a lot of criticism going on, and let me do that now. Let me introduce Benjamin Dixon. Give it up for Benjamin, you guys. Come on,
Hey,
show the man some love, y'all.
thanks for having me.
Here we go.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. No doubt, man. Make sure we got as much V as we can. So, Ben, make sure I got that cut up. Okay, Ben. So, Ben, man, one of the problems, man, well, you know what? No, let me back up. Ben, I don't have a cheat sheet for you, man. I don't know, like, what you're into, what your background is, what you do. So, could you inform the people, man? Let them know a little bit about you, man.
Yeah, man. Benjamin Dixon, the Benjamin Dixon Show, and I do a lot of stuff. Most of it I won't keep anonymous, but I, like you said, man, I am a progressive brother, not because I need something to identify with, but because I've studied politics for a very long time. Not that it matters, but I have my master's degree in political science, my undergrad in economics, and I'm almost done. If I can find some time to write this dissertation, I should be done with my PhD in about, I would say, a year. I can be finished, but I just have to find the time to write this dissertation, and that's in international development with a focus on security studies. So, politics and policy, they're my thing.
Wow, wow, man, that's very impressive, man. Let me just make sure everybody can hear me. You guys good? You guys hearing me out here? I just want to make sure everybody hear me on YouTube. I know Blog Talk Radio is fine. Let me get a little feedback. Brooklyn, we good?
Brooklyn, Maine.
Brooklyn's good. Montague, okay, yeah. Well, wow, man. Hey, man. First of all, let me say this, man. I had no idea that you that educated a brother. Now I feel a little bit better when you were talking, and I'm going, wow, this brother knows his stuff. But the brother went to school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if the school gets the credit for just, you know what it is? There are people who question, and then there are people who take things at face value, and people who question. I'm a skeptic. I question everything. I question myself, and I think that credits more of my thinking prowess than just the schools that I went to, but or the classes that I took, even though they help. But I think it's really anybody who just asks questions, never stop asking questions.
Okay, okay. Well, that's a very humble way of looking at it, and I appreciate it. It's very refreshing, man. Hey, what can I say? So you say you're progressive not because you need something to affiliate yourself with, but more so you're progressive because that's truly the way your ideology is truly what you believe.
Yeah, right. So at the end of the day, okay, so just so people know, I try to be smart, right? But then at other times I'm just real simple or real stupid and just, I don't know what kind of rating is this. Are we rated PG,
Oh,
rated R?
well, as far as you need to go, man. Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
It ain't a big deal. Hey, I just want to make sure I want to respect your platform. So I try to be a good dude, but I'm also an asshole at times. So it's a combination of me wanting to see human progress, right? And I look at the policies. I don't think either party really is adequate for human progress, but I think one is less detrimental to human progress. And then if you just forget about the policies of the parties and you look at the ideologies underneath it, it just tells itself, right? Conservatism wants to freeze us in a moment of time. And we can't survive as a human race if we stay frozen in a time that we always long back for and think it was so much greater than what the future is going to be.
I think I understand where you're coming from. I think I understand where you're coming. Now look. Now I have a mixed bag of political affiliations here. I have some independents. I have some conservatives. I've had some liberals, but we all seem to sort of meet in the middle. I think we have a unique program because our listeners, our viewers to this show, Ben, we find a way to disagree without being disagreeable.
Yeah.
You know, I don't cuss people out on my show. I don't run them off because we disagree. Hell, I had Benjamin Taylor on the show last night, of all things. He was the spokesperson for the young ladies in Arizona who wore the shirt. They spelled the word nigga out on the shirts. Well, yeah. So just imagine, we didn't agree on much, but I didn't have to curse him out, man. I've noticed, but I did let him know I disagree with him. But I've noticed, Ben, that in our politics and our talking heads, you know, it's so confrontational, man. That's, in my opinion, that's why we don't get anywhere. We don't dialogue. We don't hear each other out. Is that something you've come across, Ben?
Yeah, I've come across it, but I'm at the okay. So I've come across that. I agree with your assessment on it, but I also have gotten beyond that where I don't really care anymore because that's often used as a way of, you know, it's a political manipulative move, right? Not from your perspective. You're viewing it through the lens of we need to work together, right? But then you have some who say, that guy, that progressive over there, they really are sucker for working together. And so it becomes a manipulation tool. So I'm at the point where I'm past worrying about working together and more concerned with, like, let's hit it. We don't have to be, one thing we don't have to do is insult each other.
There you go.
But I'm not gonna hold my tongue or back down because somebody's asking me to play nice and they're not playing nice.
See, that's what I'm talking about, because I had that type of fire in the belly myself, Ben. And I don't mean be nice. I think one of the gripes I have with Democrats, man, or liberals, I should say, is that they're too damn nice.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Republicans, the conservatives, they're going for the jugular. They're hitting below the belt. Look at Trump. Look what he's doing.
Absolutely,
you know
man. Absolutely. They love that. They love that. And then there's this expectation that we as progressives or we as liberals should be nice. And if we come out of, we stop being nice for a moment, then we're villainized, right? We're vilified rather. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't work like that. If you clap, I'm going to clap back all day long.
I agree, man. It's refreshing to hear you say that, man. And look, man, ain't nobody scared here, man. And I'm glad to know you share that same mentality, man. Where are you from, by the way, man? Is it Georgia?
You hear my southern accent, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
So actually, I toured the South, man. I grew up. I was born in Selma. I was born in Selma, Alabama, actually, and grew up in Louisiana. So I'm a New Orleans Saints fan. Have been all my life. We moved to Florida. Went to high school, college there. Met my wife there. Then we ended up in Boston. So we've been all over the place.
Oh, Boston. Okay. Well, look, my condolences to your early end of football season ending so abruptly this year. My Boston friend.
You're talking about the Saints, it's been a hard road. We had one good year in like 2009, but you know when you're a fan, you ride with them even in the bad.
No doubt, man. Look, man, I ain't knocking you. I'm from D.C., man. So, you know. Hey, I ain't got nothing to say. I got nothing but love, man. I can't say nothing. I can't talk bad about nobody. Considering the year we had. But we did go to the playoffs for the first time in, I don't know, maybe 6 years, and we lost prime. You know, I could talk football with you about, you know, the pain I suffered from RG3 leaving, man. But, you know, that's
another show.
That's another show, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, I want to jump. I see I got some callers here. Let me set the table real quick with the primary reason why I had to bring Ben on, man. Because when I saw you talking about this issue, actually, you know what? They say your best advertisement are your fans, Ben. And a mutual fan from Europe, who's one of my fans from Europe, says, Tim, he wrote me a letter. He said, Tim, you need to hook up with Benjamin Dixon.
That's
because Benjamin Dixon, he loved your stance on Bernie Sanders. And he knows I had just came out in support of Bernie Sanders. Mm-hmm. And he said, you need to link up with Ben. Now, Ben and I, as you know, Ben, we've spoken before, guys, American people. We talked on Twitter before, and I said, you know what, I got to make this happen. I don't care what I got to do, because when the people start telling you this is a guy you need to work with, you need to listen, because they know what they're talking about.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I respect that. And I definitely appreciate the people who support my show, man, because I know that none of this happens without people who are listening. Like right now, we'd be at home talking to our wives or our significant others, and they'll be telling us to shut up.
Damn straight. That's real. Let's keep it real. Now, the issue that really hit home is that I have a Facebook group, Ben, called Tim Black Speak On It Group.
Okay.
And in that group, I have a moderator. His name is Montague. And Montague's a brother. I don't, I think Montague was a character played with Jamie Foxx too. Now that I think about it, but anyway, Montague is his name, and he's like coming down hard on me about Bernie and reparations.
Okay.
Bernie and reparations. But I said, look, I said now, I want to just put it out there. I told him, I said, Montague, there are no Republicans, no Democrats who are supporting reparations either. Why are we holding Bernie Sanders to a standard that you're not holding anyone else to?
Right.
Now, to Montague's point, he ain't voting for anybody.
Hey, what's up, Kimberly Santana? You can call in. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No doubt, Kim. Call in, Kim. She's a frequent caller as well. But there have been a number. It's not just Montague. Brooklyn, Maine is another one. He's a moderator to my chat forum to keep the trolls out. He said the same thing. He's like, Tim, I'm voting Hillary because, look at Bernie. Why did I vote for him? He won't even vote for our reparations. And
right.
once again, Ben, I'm like, Hillary's not supporting reparations either. So, Ben, maybe they need you to say it in a way. I don't know what magical methods you have, but I've been saying it. Could you please share your viewpoints on reparations and Bernie Sanders?
One, it's a red herring, right? At best, it's a straw man, actually, where they're throwing up this argument to make us chase after this and knocking it down really easy, saying Bernie Sanders doesn't support reparations, so he doesn't support black people, so we shouldn't give him our vote. Well, all right, so then who are you going to vote for? Because if that's the case, then you shouldn't vote at all. And if you believe that not voting at all is an option, then you are really just you're abdicating your responsibility to select your leadership, right? You're turning it over to everyone else. So if you are going to vote, then this argument is completely irrelevant because then you have no one to vote for because Barack Obama doesn't support reparations. Nobody supports reparations except the gentleman who forwarded HR 40, and he presented it every single year. So that's the bottom line of it. But then the fundamental argument underneath it is flawed from Ta-Nehisi Coates, right? And I wrote about this, and the point is with reparations is an economic solution, right? And they try to look at this and say that reparations is a race solution, but it's a race solution through economics, right? Reparations is money. Right. That's just bottom line of it, right? And so Ta-Nehisi Coates' goal is he's saying that we need reparations. Reparations mean that we as black people would get something separate and different than any other culture, black race, ethnicity. We as African Americans would get financial gain above anything else. And so we're saying, Ta-Nehisi Coates is saying, if we don't get that, then we really shouldn't be worried about the class revolution that Bernie Sanders is espousing, even though what Bernie Sanders is espousing is an economic solution. The only difference between Ta-Nehisi Coates' economic solution and Bernie Sanders' economic solution is that Bernie Sanders' solution is going to hit all people in a certain economic strata, right? It's going to help everyone who's working class, middle class, working poor, right? Black or indifferent. Ta-Nehisi Coates' reparations is only going to help African Americans. So how much sense does it make for us to turn down a solution, an economic solution, simply because it's going to help other people while we wait for something that nobody supports, which is economic reparations for just us? Makes no sense at all.
I agree 100%, man. I look at it like, for one, it's a non-starter because of the climate that we have politically. It would be political suicide for him, Ben. If you want the man to win, you cannot ask him to run into a gunfight with not even a knife. That would be showing up with bare knuckles.
And here's the thing, though. I don't disagree with Ta-Nehisi Coates bringing up the question. I disagree with them making the issue against which we should vote or not support Bernie Sanders. Right. Because if that's the issue for which we're not going to support Bernie Sanders, then we don't have an option to vote at all. Then every black person needs to stay home and not vote. And that is one of the dumbest solutions that I've ever heard in my life.
Well, I've been fighting against folks who say that that's their logic. They think the system is not for them, so they want to opt out of the system. I say, well, I tell them, Ben, I say, look, when you opt out of the system, you are effectively voting. Non-voting is a vote.
Right.
It is a vote, in my opinion, Ben, because someone is counting. Someone's already thinking, you know what? We know these guys are going to already vote for Bernie or Hillary. You not voting is effectively a vote for them, even if you sit it out. Someone benefits from your non-vote. Do you agree, Ben?
I agree. Absolutely. Right. Not voting at all is somebody is going to run this nation. Somebody's going to run your state. Somebody's going to run your city. And if you don't vote for somebody, that means you are supporting the opposite candidate. Now, you can sit around and think that not voting is the intellectual thing to do, or is that's the black revolutionary thing to do, is not to subscribe to progressivism or conservatism and to opt out of the political system. I hear a lot of black intellectuals claiming that, but in reality, you are turning over control of your entire destiny, right? You're mad about that ticket that you think was BS, then there's somebody who passed a law about that ticket. You're mad about the charge you got, or the child support that whatever you're mad about that the system has wrought on you, somebody made that a law. And so you could run around here acting like the political system has nothing to do with you, when the reality of it is most of everything you complain about every day is because of the political system. Now, how much sense does it make to opt out of that?
I don't think it makes any sense. Like I try to tell them, I say, well, you know what? It'd be different if you were telling me, hey, I just don't have faith in the presidency. That would be one issue, Ben. But hey, some of these people, they don't vote for mayors, they don't vote for governors, they won't vote for Congress, they won't vote for hall monitor, they won't vote for class president, they won't vote for who's gonna be the banker when they play Monopoly. I mean, they vote for nothing, Ben. And if that's the case, I mean, bruh, you're only hurting yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, unless you can't vote. Now, if you're in a situation where you have a record and you can't vote, I understand.
Tim, that's the thing. Look at Kentucky, right? Matt Bevin just became the governor of Kentucky, right? The previous governor, he passed an executive order which granted voting rights back to people who had been convicted, right? It's only a handful of states that don't allow you to vote if you have a felony. Well, Matt Bevin got elected, this Tea Party crazy Republican. Sorry if you're a Republican, but this one in particular, Matt Bevin, is certifiable, right? Not all Republicans are bad. Matt Bevin has lost his damn mind. The first thing he did when he came in as a governor is he rescinded that order, which means there's 140,000 people now in Kentucky who could vote before this guy got elected, and now can't vote since he's gotten elected. And then the next thing he did was cut the minimum wage down $3, the state and federal the state minimum wage by $3. And then the third thing he's getting ready to do is to connect the healthcare exchange system, which means there are going to be people in Kentucky who are going to literally die because they cannot get healthcare because this man was elected. Now you can run around, they can run around and act like they're pseudo intellectual. Their third eye is open and it's telling them not to vote.
Right.
These are the type of ramifications of the people who are elected, or you sit back and allow to be elected.
Amazing. Look, I'd like to know how much did this governor, did he win by? I'd like to know what was the margin. Who did he run against?
That's a great question. I don't have that in front of me, but I know I can get that in a few minutes.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. And it's also very sad. And that's exactly why I say, look, guys, I understand your dismay. I understand you're frustrated, but you know what? There's a way we can channel that. Let's channel that. And look, even if you're right and the system will not work for you and the Electoral College robs your vote of its power, there are other things on that ballot, such as bills. I mean, I'm not sure what's on the bill in 2016, to be honest, but I'm sure there's going to be a number of other issues on that ballot besides presidency. We need to also be concerned with that. So let's not just turn out or turn off. Let's turn out and turn up. Let's at least look at what we're not going to be concerned with. And the other thing, Ben, is some people said, well, Tim, you know, there's other ways for us to be active in our communities. There's other ways for us to show that we give a damn. And I'm like, well, you know what? If you can't walk or drive or take a bus to vote, which is a free, come on, I've done community. Have you done any community outreach work before, Ben? I have. And I'll tell you, most people, it's hard to get people to do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure when you were doing it, you weren't overwhelmed with the number of volunteers. I'm pretty sure. You understand?
To get the services.
That's what I'm saying. So don't give me that, well, there's other things we could do to be a part of the process. This is actually the easiest, the lowest barrier of entry is voting.
Absolutely.
You feel me?
I feel you 100%, man. I can't agree with you more.
Wow, man. Hey, look, I think we set the table pretty nicely to encourage people to call in and ask questions and make their comments. What you think, Ben?
Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Let's see who's out here. Oh, great, man. We got some folks in. So what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to do as usual. I'm going to take calls in the order that they came just to make sure people have the number once again for my people on Meerkat. My bad, Meerkat. I forgot you don't get the digital version. 323-870-4064. That's 323-870-4064.
You you using Blog Talk Radio phone line, huh?
Yeah, I am, man. I wish I had another solution. Maybe we could talk about that.
No, it's actually a good solution. We'll talk about it after the show.
Hey, you're live with Tim Black. Who's this?
This is Montague.
Montague, my friend.
Yeah.
For some reason, mic is kind of low. Let me hear you. Let me see. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I got to do it this way. But go right ahead, Montague. I got you.
All right. Well, first I'm gonna say this. I listened to what you just said about what I spoke about, and I think you strawman me a little bit. Yes, I did bring up the issue about reparations, and as I pointed out correctly, most socialists actually support reparations for black people. But I also pointed out that there are several policy positions besides reparations that Bernie Sanders does not support that is actually a core tenet of socialism. For example, most socialists are against capitalism entirely and want to see it abolished and destroyed. And Bernie Sanders, very much supports capitalism. And he also supports Israel. Most socialists are favor Palestine because they see the policies being enacted by Israel for the racism that they perpetrate. So, and under those metrics, as socialists, as people like myself, that is why we say that when Bernie Sanders talks about how he's a democratic socialist, that he's not. When you look at his actual policy positions, he is far from a democratic socialist. Even democratic socialists support the abolishment of capitalism. And to go to Dixon's point about reparations, if you look at the history of reparations, you'll see that the overwhelming majority of reparations payments paid to the Japanese and to various Native American tribes have either been through financial or by allotments of land. So I just cannot see how, in essence, and maybe I've heard you wrong, but it seems like you're just basically told every black person, listening to the show to forget about reparations, even though there has been clear proof and justification for why we, as black people, should get reparations. And if you wouldn't mind, I would like for you, like I said, maybe I heard you wrong, but I would like some clarity on your position.
All right, Tim, first.
Yeah, well, I'm upset because I'm getting a lot of feedback. So I was kind of dealing with that, man. What's going on with that? This is my first Skype call. Well, first of all, I didn't mean to miscategorize you, Montague. It sounds like your issues with Bernie Sanders have to do more with him not being a socialist, and then I don't know. The other.
Well, like I said, when you look at the underlying metrics of Bernie Sanders' actual positions, what he supports, what he's against, and what he and in terms of the actual metrics of what socialists, including democratic socialists, support, he cannot claim to be a socialist.
Okay,
he's
Montague.
Democratic socialist.
Montague. Okay, cool. So let me respond, bro. If the reason why I understand he doesn't fit the ideology of of a candidate that you would support, basically, right? That's what we're saying. So I understand that because no candidate in this race is going to support that ideology. Am I correct? There's no Republicans that are supported. Chris Christie, I don't know, Kasich. No. There's no one, right? Is that correct assessment?
Like I said once before, you have people like Jill Stein. Who's the Green Party candidate. She's pretty much capitalist, but her positions are more socialist than Bernie Sanders.
Okay. But, as far as the front runner, the candidates that are in the Republican Party and the Democratic Party currently, none of them support stances that you can support. Is that correct?
Basically.
Okay.
It's like a lot of, put it like this, there's a lot of points, there are a lot of positions that when I examine them, they just I just cannot agree with them.
Okay. Well, you know, that's a fair assessment, man. But I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Because I pointed out in the Facebook group, in the Facebook group, I posted an article a couple of days ago, pointing out some of the positions about Bernie Sanders, including his iffy position about gun control. He feels that the issue involving guns and gun violence is different in Vermont and between Vermont and Chicago, and that's why we need to have different sets of gun control.
I understand, Montague.
Instead of having a universal standard that applies to everybody.
Montague, does any candidate in the race, any candidate that's on that stage, Republican Party or Democratic Party, do they support stances that you support?
And you talk in terms, do you mean that as uniformly, or
who else? Is there anyone else you would vote for that's running a major candidate?
No.
Okay, well then it's a non-starter. It's a non. See, listen, Montague. This conversation is for people. So maybe I should have just referred to Brooklyn, because this conversation was primarily for people who were undecided on the candidates that are on the stage.
But my thing is, why are we still trying to support people that are on the stage? Why are we, like I said before, there are candidates from other political parties that are worthy of attention, that are worthy of recognition by the public, and they're not getting any little to no attention at all, and we're ignoring those people.
Okay, well we'll talk about this is the Bernie Sanders show, Montague. This is the Bernie Sanders show.
I know that. I get that. I'm saying, maybe you should bring on people like, Jill Stein. Like Stein, whoever's running for president, period, regardless of any political party, bring them on so we can have that discussion. Let's see everybody. I see what your point is. I understand this is about Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
But when you brought up that point just now, that kind of, that kind of pluck a chord.
Okay, thank you, Montague. I appreciate it.
Let me, hang on.
Yeah. I wonder why this is, I don't know.
Try that, man.
Yeah. Then, we'll be good. So let me just hang tight. All the callers that are on the line, hang tight with me, man. Montague, I didn't mean to end so abruptly, man. That was just sounding horrible, man. It's because I'm not throwing it through a mixer, But Ben, hopefully he'll call back. But yeah, Montague, I guess the best way to put it was, I really meant Brooklyn. I didn't mean you. Because Brooklyn was the one we had the conversation about reparations. And I saw you were driving the needle on this issue. Let me see if this is
Yep.
Hey Ben, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
All right, there we go, man. All right, because that sounded so bad, Ben. I couldn't continue that way, man. Yeah, I couldn't continue that way, man. I just couldn't do it. But you hear me fine now, don't you, Ben?
Yeah, I hear you loudly and clear.
Okay, man. Thank you, sir, man. Hey, man. When you're trying to put it together with sticks and bubble gum, you do what you can do. And let me bring a caller back in, man. I've already let them know what happened, and the blame is all on me, bro. So
you know what? Before you bring on a new caller, I do want to respond. He asked me a question specifically.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah, let me. Montague, is he still here? Yeah, he's here. Okay, go right ahead, Ben.
Yeah. So to the question. He asked a whole lot, particularly about Bernie Sanders and Jill Stein, and I would encourage people to just go and compare the differences and the similarities. They have far more in common than they have apart, and you can see that online. Go to inside.gov, and you can see insidegov.com, and you can see side by side Jill Stein to Bernie Sanders. But more importantly, he asked a question: am I telling black people to forget about reparations? And you absolutely heard me incorrectly. What I'm saying is that if you're going to make your decision based on which president presidential candidate does not support reparations, then you do not have a single candidate to vote for. And if you are like me and opting out is not an option, because I know how important every election is, especially my local elections, then you can't allow that to be a straw man for you to just opt out completely. It makes no sense. I'm very aware that the American government has given reparations to the Japanese, the Indians, just recently Obama was advocating for some Hawaiians to get reparations.
Wow.
So we do have a precedent for giving reparations. However, there is not a single presidential candidate historically, save one, that actually supports reparations. Should we fight for them? Yes. But is this something that we should say we don't want any type of economic reform unless we get reparations first? Absolutely not. Because there are things that can happen. Let's say Jill Stein. Let's forget about Bernie Sanders. Let's say we brought in a Jill Stein and she brought economic reform, particularly class-based economic reform. Are black people willing to say, we don't want that type of economic reform because we're waiting on reparations? I think that is very narrow focused and obtuse.
That's well put, man. And that's the point I was trying to make. And once again, I'm glad you reiterated it and you placed it in that particular way, because that's the argument, guys. It's like, I understand what Montague's saying. I understand. He prefers Jill Stein. He's not the only person who has voiced that opinion. I get it. I understand it. What I'm saying is, based on the major candidates that we have to choose from, look, we got a couple cars on the lot you can buy right now, okay? Go out and test drive a couple of them, pick one of them. I can't sell you what we don't have on the lot. Now, if you're telling me that I can go buy from another lot, okay, well, maybe we need to move cars. Maybe we need to get new cars on the lot. But right now, this is what we have. We have to make the best choice with what's available. That's my point, and I got to stick with that, frankly. So let me keep it. You know what I mean? Let me keep it moving here. Hey, Los, how you doing, my friend? Were you ready to come in?
Man, what up?
Hey,
Yeah,
Los.
I'm ready to come on. Shit, what's good?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic, man. Just trying to make it work. I got my friend Benjamin Dixon here with me today, and we're discussing Bernie Sanders. And you're one of the, you know what, you called up right on time, man, because I don't want to miscategorize you, man, so I'm going to let you speak for yourself, Los. Go right ahead.
Well, this is a question I have, I guess, for both of you. So let's say I want to vote for somebody in the Green Party. Am I wasting my vote? You know, because we know that the real chance of anybody outside of the Democrat or Republicans going to win anything. So am I wasting my time?
I mean, if you want me to be 100% transparent,
yes.
Yes. And I'm not just saying that from an opinion point of view. I'm saying that from a political science point of view. And guys, I want you to Google this. I don't want you to think I'm just talking out my neck. Google Diverger's Law. Diverger's Law pretty much guarantees, it looks at our system, the way our system is set up. The way our system is set up, it is going to lend itself to two-party systems, that even if a third party rose up, it really is just going to cannibalize another party. So it's always going to be a two-party system in the United States because of how the founders set up our democracy. So in a sense, are you wasting your vote? It's not a waste, because you should be free to vote for whoever you want to vote for, right? I'm not telling you to throw your vote to somebody that you don't really support. That wouldn't be fair to you. But is it going to be sufficient to get your person elected? Unfortunately, just from a political science perspective, it's highly, highly unlikely that your vote will help somebody from a third party win.
Yeah, I agree with Ben, man. I just based on what I've seen, I don't see how that helps you. But I would never tell you who to vote for. Like, I'm making a case for what I believe. These are based on my beliefs, based on what's available. This is why I came to this conclusion. You know, I would prefer that Ben was running. I prefer that I was running, but you know, that's just how I am. You know, but based on what I see, Bernie Sanders is the best option that I see based on policy. Okay, based on track record. And I'm a person who believes that, you know, the best indicator of future action is past action. And to me, Bernie Sanders has the past actions that are most in line with civil rights, equality, poverty. He's big on poverty. He's big on helping poor people. That's his platform. His platform are disenfranchised folks all across America. No other candidate can say that. So that's why that's the reason why I'm behind Bernie Sanders, and that's the reason why I came out. But you're free to do as you want to do, Los. You know that.
Oh yeah, no, that's just a question because we already know how much money it costs to even have a realistic chance of winning. So when you sit back and you look at where these people are getting money from, you're being naive to think that they're not going to have to pay these people back and do favors. And we've seen it with Obama. He played the role well. He made black people feel like he was going to uplift and do this and do that. And he got in there, and all of a sudden, he was everybody's president. Well, hold on. A minute ago, you was out here trying to persuade every black person and, saying this and saying that, and you did pretty much none of it. So, like, what do we expect when you have a system where pretty much it's going to come down to two people, and these two people are going to have so many millions behind them, it ain't even realistic for somebody that's not within that group to do anything. It's too like it costs too much money to win. Like I said, to me, I look at this whole presidential thing. It's a movie. It's entertainment. It's just like turning on, BET or MTV, and you just watch the show. It's love and hip hop to me, because we already know the people that's really running things is not the people on the ballot. We really think that these people that's worth billions, coupled with trillions, is going to let some president come in and take over that. And it's like, I don't feel like we're being realistic if we really believe that.
Can I respond to that?
Sure, please.
Tim?
Jump right in, Ben.
Yeah, so, you know what? I want to make sure that we're comparing apples to apples, right? First of all, let me start here. Bernie Sanders is nobody's savior. Right? The Bernie Sanders is not capable of being the black savior any more than Barack Obama was capable of being the black savior. So I don't want anyone to think that we're looking at Bernie Sanders and saying he's a hero and we have to honor or not. If Bernie Sanders didn't stand for what he stood for, then I would no more support him than I support Hillary Clinton. Right? So that's number one. But number two, I want us to make sure that we're dealing factually here. If you go to opensecrets.org, you can see exactly, because all of this is reported, you can see exactly where Bernie Sanders' money is coming from compared to where Hillary Clinton's money is coming from, compared to where all the Republicans' money is coming from. And if you look at Hillary Clinton's list, she's getting money from Wall Street, she's getting from Goldman Sachs, she's getting from Time Warner, from Comcast, she's getting it from all of these big-name corporations who are going to do exactly what you said, brother, which means they are going to get some favors from her. If you look at Bernie Sanders' donors, he's being donated to by unions down the line. I did not see a single major donor to Bernie Sanders that was not a part of a union. Now, are these unions going to want something? Absolutely, they are. But you know what? At least they're fighting for something for the most part. Now, not all of them, but for the most part, they're fighting for the average worker.
That's right. That was great. That was a great response. Go ahead, Los. My bad. Go ahead, Los.
You ready for me to come in? Okay. Okay, this is my question. Let's say we get Bernie Sanders in there, and we have another 8 years of Obama bullshit where nothing gets done. It actually gets worse. What do we do next? Do we just vote for another candidate and pray everything is going to work out?
Well, this is part of the problem. Part of the problem is that he can't do it by himself, and he's made that clear. President Obama did not make that expressly clear, right? And people should have known it, right? I'm not going to blame it all on Obama. Everybody should have known he couldn't have done that by himself. But black people and other progressive people, socialists on the left, they sat down in 2010. And so he went from having a Congress that he could work with to a Congress that he can't get nothing done with whatsoever. And so if the people sit down and allow these intransigent Republicans to get back in power and control, then absolutely nothing will ever get done. So it's really, for the most part, the truth of the matter is it's in our hands how much we get done in this country. We don't have anybody to blame but ourselves for the fact that the Tea Party took over in 2010 because they only took over because we sat home and we didn't go out to vote.
Yep. Things got so bad in 2008 and 2009 that people were disillusioned. Came 2010 when we needed to vote in Congress. So that's what happened. I mean, I don't know if you remember that, Los, but people have been pissed off for many years now. They tuned out.
Oh yeah, well, like I feel like people was waking up, and starting to really see what was going on and really getting involved in politics, and they got put back to sleep, with the whole Obama bullcrap. And it's like, I'm only 29 years old. I'm not that old, so I haven't really been dealing with politics as long as probably you or Tim. But in my lifetime, I haven't seen any changes. All I see is a bunch of smoke and mirrors. You're going to give me health care, but you're going to give me crappy health care. You're going to give me quote-unquote jobs, but it's not going to be real jobs. It's not really going to be something that's sustainable over a long time. And that's what I'm so sick of with politics, period, on how to get up there. This is what Obama, we should have known. Of course, and the person that thinks outside the box to understand, right. We know, but he got up there and said it like he was going to do this and do that. And Bernie Sanders, he's saying he can't do it himself. But this is the realistic question. Can you really even get it done? Because the people in power that have money, from the person that just got $1 million to the person that's got $100 million, they don't want to give that money up. So they're going to do everything in their power to stop that. That's like raising the minimum wage.
Can I ask you a question about that? This is a sincere question. If the odds are stacked against you, do you feel like you should not fight?
Oh no, I'm 100% fighting, but
okay,
that's what are we fighting for when we vote? Really, it's like what else can we do besides vote? Is my question.
Exactly what you said. Well, more than just vote is organize, right? More important than your individual vote. If you can organize 100 people to vote, then you've done something significant. And if you can get 100 people that are going to organize 100 people, you as an individual now wield significant power, especially in your immediate area. So it's more important than it's extremely important to vote, but it's more important to organize and vote. And so what are we fighting for? We're fighting against that system that of those people with the billions of dollars, almost $1 trillion, who own 90% of America. Like 10 people own 90% of America. But damn it, we got to fight that. I just don't see, I don't care how hard the odds are. I don't ever see myself just throwing in the towel and saying this is something that we should not fight against because the odds are so insurmountable. For me, that's all the more reason for us to dig in and kick ass, man.
Right.
Oh, no, I'm definitely not for sitting back and not say I'm not going to vote and I'm not going to do anything. It's like I'm willing to die to make a difference, but I don't want it. Like I want to make sure I'm putting my energy in the right direction.
But you know what, Los, in all sincerity, man, check it out, bro. There are no guarantees. No one can guarantee you that anything will change if you do something. But I can guarantee you, if you do nothing, more than likely nothing will change. And I don't just mean you, but I mean all of us. If we do nothing, there is no option. There is nothing that will change. So we have to do what we can do. And I don't like feeling as if we try. No one can convince you that you should have hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one can convince you of that. You've walked through your life. You know what's going on. You know the odds. You know how hard life is. I ain't got to convince you of shit. You know the deal. My thing is this. We have an option. We have a choice. I'm doing this. I urge you to do something, become involved, and make your own decision. Don't let life make decisions for you. At least have a say. And if you say, hey, at the end of the day, I don't want to do it, I'm definitely not trying to twist your arm or convince you because, hell, man, I'm not, I'm not on Bernie Sanders' payroll, but my children live in this country and I'm concerned with their future. And as long as they live in this country and I live in this country, I'm going to concern myself with the politics and the issues that are going on in this country, regardless to what likelihood of my success. You understand what I'm saying? I think you do.
So I'm going to tell you, Bernie Sanders, he's for raising the minimum wage, right?
True.
Absolutely.
$15.
$15.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we raise, I want to know what his reaction is going to be, because when we raise the minimum wage to $15, that means the price of whatever the services are that these companies are doing is going to go up. So what is he going to do to combat that?
Let me ask you this question, because a lot of people always bring that argument.
Yeah, they do.
How long ago? When was the last time you paid $2.99 for a value meal at McDonald's?
Many years.
The last time you paid $2.99 for a value meal at McDonald's?
Yep. Long
It's
time.
been years, right?
Yep.
And it's been, I think I was in my 20s when like at least 15 years. Prices are going up anyway. And they want to use that argument to say, let's not go after a living wage because prices are going to go up. Prices have gone up anyway. You know, the only thing that hasn't gone up are our wages. So if our prices are going to go up, then at least let it be because we're paying people a living wage so that we don't have to turn around and pay for their food stamps. Do you know how much money Walmart and McDonald's gets off of food stamps because they don't pay enough for people to live? So they're raping the system from the top and the bottom, from the back and the front, all because they're scaring us and have a lot of people who use exactly what you just said, that they're going to raise prices. Well, hell, they've been raising prices all along. So damn it, pay these people some money so that they can buy their own food and we don't have to pay for their food stamps.
That's right. We've been
No,
supplementing.
see, this is the problem, I feel. We're not going to be solving the issue. What we're going to do is we're going to put a Band-Aid on it, and it's going to keep bleeding to the point where that Band-Aid is going to fall off. So if we're going to raise the prices to $15, I feel like we got to be realistic and have something to combat that. Because these companies, because what is going to do? We're going to be hurting one class and hurting another class. We're going to be hurting the lower class and hurting the middle class.
No. You won't be hurting. No. You won't be hurting the middle class. You'll be hurting the 1% if he lowers the tax. If he lowers the amount of, I think it's the tax. It's something about the tax change he wants to do so that folks at the top will have to pay a little bit more in taxes than they've been paying historically. But listen, man, prices, like you didn't listen to what Ben said. They've been raising. So if he doesn't raise the minimum wage, that means that McDonald's isn't going to charge more. They're going to say we don't want any more profits. You're not going to raise the costs. They're going to raise the cost. They've been raising the cost. You're not hearing what he's saying. They continue to make more money. They don't care. So for us to say we're not going to make more money, we're not going to require them to pay more money to employees, that is them having it both ways because they're already going to raise prices. Get it? They're already going to. They're going to do it anyway.
I just feel that it's going to be a whole lot sharper.
Oh God!
I feel like being realistic. It's not going to be the same as gradually over the years will go up. Because like I said now, and let's be realistic here. You should not be 35 years old at McDonald's flipping your burger. You are mentally capable of doing more.
That's not true.
Unless something is mentally wrong with you.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's
not true. That's not true. There are a lot of people who work at McDonald's. That's not true. There are people who work for McDonald's who are fresh out of school. There are people who are coming back into the workforce. There are seniors that work at McDonald's. Don't do that now. You sound like you watching Fox News on me. Don't do that. There are a lot of people that work. You talking about that one brother that got up at that one event and spoke about he didn't want to do nothing else. That's one guy. There are mothers, there are single moms trying to get into the workforce, coming off welfare. There are senior citizens trying to stay out of poverty. There are all types of people. There are first-generation Americans just trying to learn the language and get on their feet who are working at McDonald's. There are a lot of people who use those jobs. They're just not 35-year-old people just wanting to work at McDonald's. Come on, man. And look, and I don't care who they are. If they're not out robbing someone, it's a job. And I'm glad they got that instead of got a gun in their hand going to somebody's house. Come on now. Give it up for myself.
I'm like I said, I'm being realistic, man. Like I said, it all sounds pretty and good right now, but I feel like this is going to be the inconsequence at the end of the day.
Well, you know what? We can't.
Because now think about it. You want to have people in high school making the same as, like me myself, I make $23 an hour. Somebody in high school is going to be making only $8 less than what I make right now.
Wow, dude, you need to up your game, son.
How did it happen? Did you not see it? Were you fucking with it?
Come on now. Up your game. Up your game.
Like I make almost $100 a year.
$23 $23 an hour?
You said what?
$23 an hour?
I make almost, I get more than that.
Well, you said 23.
I pretty much make close to 100.
You the one to put that out there. I'm just responding.
Everything I do is legal.
But you put it out there.
Legal, so I don't care. Like, it don't bother me.
But you the one telling people how much you make. Why would you do that?
Why would that bother me?
Well, you
like,
get,
I don't know. Like, it is what it is.
All right,
like,
man.
It ain't nothing. Like, I'm not, it's like, I'm not hurt about it. I'm making a very decent living for myself. I mean, so it's like, I'm not hurt about it. But I'm just being realistic, understanding that, I feel like we need to fight to make things more realistic. Like I said, because the prices of everything is going to keep going up to the point where you're going to have people paying $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment that really should only be $500. And it's like, we can keep, all we're going to do is keep raising the bar, and everything else just going to keep going up with it. It's like, why can't we find a way to make things more realistic again?
All right. Well, look, man, it sounds like we ain't going to come to a conclusion to see the eye to eye on this one, man. But, hey, man, like I always say, man, I respect your opinion. I'm sure a lot of people identify with what you're saying. Hey, man, live to fight another day, man. Give it up for my man Carlos, y'all. Come on, y'all. No doubt, man.
I appreciate you getting me in, man.
No doubt. All right, man. All right, now. Let me keep it moving. You know, sometimes we just can't agree. It's okay. You know what I mean? I get it, man. I get it. All right, Kim Santana, talk to me, lady. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Tim?
You sound tired. You okay?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Man, I'm getting some of my sleep.
Okay.
But I've been listening real intense, and y'all know I have no filter.
Right. Thank
y'all
you.
Know this.
Thank you. I need it for this show. It's an entertainment show as well as a news show. Come on now, Kim. You know how we roll.
Okay, so I'm going to come out with my 6 shooters. I don't agree with Ben at all, and I tell you why. First, I think his approach is too soft, and the reason why, I'm not saying he is soft. I don't mean that at all. I mean, no disrespect at all.
You mean Ben Carson or Benjamin Dixon?
Too soft dealing with politics when it comes to dealing with African Americans. And the message I'm basically getting is which politician is going to handle these niggas? What is the best story we going to give these niggas to get the vote? That is basically what we're hearing. Because we know at the end of the day, nothing is going to happen at all. We all know this. Everybody is selling us a line of shit, and it's just who can just talk the best to these niggas. So they'll go to a few churches and hug a few babies and have a couple of chicken dinners and talk the best nigga talk that they can talk, and then we'll take our dumb asses back down there and vote again and get the same disrespect. We really have to take a very radical approach, and all this sweet talk and being diplomatic and all this type of stuff has not worked at all. I imagine that Mr. Dixon is a very educated black man, very decent, very well spoken and everything. This country don't like him. This country do not respect him, and they never have and they never will. They don't respect the fact that he's educated. They don't respect the fact that he knows their government, and they don't respect his approach or anything. They don't have no respect for him. So, and that's really, really sad. So even though I may disagree with Mr. Dixon's politics, I do have a great deal of respect for him because it takes a lot for you to come out in this format and talk to different people who agree with you and who disagree with you. So I do respect you on that aspect, Mr. Dixon.
Well, I appreciate that. Tim, if you don't mind, I'll just jump in there.
Yeah, please do.
I do appreciate the love you give me at the end, even though you said I'm weak. But I respect your position, and at least you wrapped it in some love, so I will wrap my comments in love as well. Number one, I don't need their respect. I demand my respect. And I demand my respect because I know what I wield and what I bring to the conversation. There's not a damn politician, conservative, Republican, Democrat, anyone who wants to stand on the stage with me and actually go at it on policy issues. So I don't need their respect because I will take their crowd and their crowd will respect me. So I'm not waiting in line for anything from anybody. I'm coming to take something, and I'm coming to take it on behalf of people that I believe in, which is not just black people. I do believe in black. I believe in black first, because my children are black and they have to be black in America. Right. But I've dug a little bit deeper and I see the commonality that I have with some other poor people who are struggling paycheck to paycheck, and some people who don't even get a paycheck. And so all of my words, everything that I do is for people who are like me, who are struggling and who are out here fighting just to survive. And because of that, I'm not waiting in line for nobody to give me nothing. That's number one. Number two, do I believe that nothing will change? Let me tell you why I think nothing will change. If we elect somebody like Hillary damn Clinton, if we elect somebody like Jeb Bush, if we elect somebody who is a part of this machine that one of these callers was describing as the billionaires trying to control this system, I would agree with you 1,000% that ain't nothing going to change. And the only reason I have any modicum of interest in Bernie Sanders is because this cat has been consistent. He has not been politically expedient. He has not shifted just for the sake of popularity. He has been consistently fighting for poor people and people of minorities. He's been fighting for marginalized groups for a very long time. Now, if he gets in office and doesn't do what he says he's going to do, then I will oppose him just as hard as Cornel West opposed President Obama, because there's nothing worse than somebody who gets in office and completely betrays us, right? So I have no problem. But in terms of the choices that we have right now, you have four choices. I used to say you have three choices. You have four choices. You have these crazy Republicans, and I'm sorry if anybody's a Republican. I know Republicans have not always been crazy, but right now they're crazy. Then you have Hillary Clinton, who won't change nothing. Hillary Clinton is not going to change a damn thing in America. In 8 years, it's going to be exactly the same as if we had Hillary Clinton. The only chance in hell, it might be hell freezing over, right? You might be right at the end of the day. I might eat my words in 4 years after Bernie Sanders wins. But I believe that the only chance in hell we have to change a modicum of one little thing in America, just one thing, is with somebody as crazy as Bernie Sanders. Right. Now, that's the third choice. Your fourth choice is to not participate. But then even if you don't participate, one of those other three choices are going to happen.
Yes. Mr. Dixon? Mr. Dixon, can you hear me? Mr.
I can hear you loudly and clear, sister.
Yeah, can you hear me, Mr. Dixon?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
I want to clarify to you, I did not say that you are weak. What I said was I felt like the approach that you were taking with politics was a weak approach to me. But at the end, I said, as a black man, it takes a very strong black man to be in the position that you are in, because you are standing in the middle of literally a war. So I look at you as a very strong black man. So no, you are not weak to me at all. I just was just saying your approach. I would never disrespect a black man. I'm not about disrespecting black men. I have to put that out there.
I appreciate that. I would tell you one thing I might be is stupid, and I don't say that jokingly. I might just be still naive to think that, well, no. It's not naivete. What it is this world is controlled, and it's controlled politically and economically. And if we're going to change anything, I do believe it's got to be through the system. I think we got to break this thing and bust in there and put some real people in there. Now that might be stupid, but I'm young enough to still believe that. And y'all catch me in about 8 years, I might be saying like you, fuck all this, and let's just go and get some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me be idealistic just a little while longer, and see me in 8 years, and I might be right there with you.
Yeah, I try to tell people, Ben, I try to tell them, and Kim will tell you, man, I try to tell people, man, I didn't come to this conclusion about Bernie Sanders easily. In fact, I lost about 100, maybe 150 subscribers because I would not support Bernie Sanders until I got to know him. I mean, I had to get to know him. I had to find out more about his record. I had to find out more about, I heard the talk, but I needed to know for myself because I was skeptical. But based on everything I've read so far, like I said, now something can happen tomorrow. You know, it's unlikely, but he could be caught in bed with a dead hook or a live boy. That could happen. You know, it's possible. Shit happens. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, it would take that for me to vote for Hillary. I'm sorry. It would take something that drastic for me to give that bitch a run at it.
Tim, I have a question. I have a question to ask, and maybe Tim or Ben can answer this. So what do you tell a person like me who is very, very conscious and very radical with his or her politics, but they want to be in the race? You know, they're going to vote. How do you get to a person like that? You know, because when you're talking to me, you're talking to a really brick wall when it comes to dealing with politics, because it's like we keep getting the same thing. But you know, I have to vote because my relatives died and hung for me to go vote. So I can't dishonor them like that. But I just don't want to just be pulling any lever just because, you know. So there's some really people who politics is like mine. It is to the far extreme radical. I mean, to let you know how far extreme, I'm so far extreme. My parents raised me through the Panthers, and I still believe that I'm a Panther, and I think pretty much like them. So I'm very, very radical with my politics.
Well, let me respond to you real quick, and then I'll let Ben go, man. I would just say this: if you're like Montague and you believe in a candidate from the Green Party, such as Jill Stein, go with that. Go with that. Vote for that person if that's really what you want to do. Because I'd rather see you at the voting house voting for someone than no one. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. What about you, Ben?
The other thing I would suggest is this is going to be a little abstract, but stay with me. It's going to bless you. You have to decide, do you feel that the revolution is going to come overnight, or do you feel like the revolution is going to come little by little? And I think a lot of revolutionaries are waiting for it to come overnight. And I've dealt with enough of the revolutionary experience. Growing up in the civil rights tradition, growing up hiding, you know, my dad getting us up and hiding us underneath the bed. I'm a little older than most people think. And I realized that it's not coming overnight, that this thing is little by little, and we have to get little gains. Like, I don't think Bernie Sanders represents a major change. I think he represents a minor step in the right direction. But goddamn it, we've been going in the wrong direction for so long. I would take a minor step in the right direction, because once we get one step, then we can get another step. So do you believe in overnight, or do you believe it's going to be incremental? And my side, if you believe it's incremental, then you have a reason to participate, and you just need to, you know, find out if you can. And then last thing I'm going to say is I agree with Tim. I agree with Tim on this. If you feel passionate about Jill Stein, you know, I'm actually trying to get Jill Stein on my show. So, guys, if you want to help me, and Tim, if you want her on your show, let's try to get her there. Sure. If you're interested in Jill Stein, I would say vote for her, because the worst thing you could do is vote against your conscience.
I agree. That's excellent advice. Excellent advice.
That's true. Yes, that is true.
Now, I'm going to try to convince you between now and vote for Sanders, but still, you do your thing and vote your conscience.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. This election is it's going to be real interesting. It's just going to be one of the most interesting one in history, because we are all going to be a part of history.
Right.
I don't think people fully realize, because I've never seen nothing like this in my life. I mean, you read things like this in books, but now you're actually going to be in a book.
Right.
You're going to be a part of something that's just happening. And the question that Mr. Dixon asked, as far as the type of politics that I have, I feel like that what we're striving for, I will not ever see in my lifetime. Ever. I don't even think my great grandkids will. So I think that's far out. because that's very radical, and people react to change real drastically. And I think that's one of the reasons why we have such a heightened awareness of a lot of different things going on in America, because it's just so much time has built up. We're about 50 years into this mess, that it's a time for change. And when it's a time for change, everyone gets very radical with their politics, with everything, their belief systems, and people can have a tendency to just be far extreme with everything and out of control. So we're going to see things like, wow, I didn't know that person thought like that or felt like that, because people react to change. We all know it's coming. It's just coming. It's just the natural order of things. Change is coming, and a lot of people just want to just stay where, in their comfort zone, and we just can't stay there. We gotta, it's gonna be what it is. So, and it's frightening to some people. Change is. So people react, have a tendency to react in a negative way.
Well, I hope
anyway,
I hope at the end of the day, Kim at least gave you some stuff to think about as you consider what you might do. I mean, like we said in the beginning, man, I'm not here to change someone's opinion. Just give you a couple things to consider, and that's why I wanted Ben to come on the show. Maybe he could say it in a different way, to just put some thoughts, to my viewers that I hadn't been able to communicate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how you feeling, Kim? I mean, anything? Tell us the needle moved a little. Huh? Did the needle move at all, though? Come on, give me a little bit of hope.
The needle moved? Yeah.
A centimeter? A millimeter?
I think I'm just being sweet. I don't want to come out, how I come out. I'm trying to be sweet and diplomatic.
You see what I deal with? You see what I deal with?
Diplomacy.
You see what I deal with, Ben? Now, she said this was her being sweet. Y'all motherfuckers, there'll be some punk bitches. She just went hard, but that's her being nice. See, she ain't go ham.
Yeah.
She done tore some stuff, but not Kim. Kim,
I can switch up hats. I can switch up hats on my brothers. I don't want to ever shame y'all or look come off. You won't catch me being ratchet. That you won't get. So this is very serious, a very serious time.
What do you think about
voting is literally around the corner.
Hold on a second.
And,
Kim.
So, I just wanted to be sweet about it, yeah?
No doubt. Kim, what do you think about what Carlos was talking about in regards to the minimum wage? He was saying that if they raise the minimum wage, everything else got to go up. And what I'm saying is, and I think Ben agrees, that if, they're going to raise prices anyway. They've been raising prices the last 20 years. They ain't going to stop raising prices just because you didn't get a raise. They don't care about you. You understand what I'm saying? So go ahead.
They don't care about you. It's just the way things are just gonna go. That's been going on. I don't even see what the big deal is. As long as I can remember, there's always been fussing about minimum wage. Okay, minimum wage go up. This is gonna go up. Right. Everything's just gonna go up. It is what it is.
Right.
It's just part of life. You know what? I don't even trip out about the price of gas anymore. Oh, gas is this price. I just don't know. I'm gonna put $20 or $30 in a damn tank and keep it moving. I can't even rack my brain with it no more.
You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta drive. You gotta drive. So what you gonna do? Yeah. I mean, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just throw some in the tank and keep it moving.
I mean,
And this minimum wage thing, it ain't nothing but a damn distraction. They trying to get us to look here, there, and everywhere, and not really look at the real deal. Nuts and bolts of politics, and that minimum wage thing been talked to us blue in the face, and that's just some BS at the end of the day. Stop blowing smoke up my ass. Yeah. I don't want to talk about minimum wage. It's wasting our time. We really have some serious issues that we have to deal with, and one of the main serious issues that we have to deal with, it is, and to me, a must that our politician number one thing is the complete stop killing of black men in the street. It has to fucking end. It has to end, or we are going to go into a complete war. I cannot stomach no more black people, period, getting shot in the street. I just can't. I just can't. God, I can't. I can't. I just can't. God, it's just too much.
Right.
And to have these politicians insult our intelligence is ridiculous. But I cannot watch another black person keep getting killed. It hurts my soul. God, it hurts. God, it hurts. Just God. If there's just anything, just God, just stop the killing. Just stop the killing.
Right.
I digress. I can't say no more. I just can't say no more.
All right, Kim, you take care of yourself. We will. I will say this, man. And Kim's point is, she seems extremely sincere and emotional about this issue. Most of the Republicans won't even approach this subject of police brutality, let alone try to tackle it. I mean, I think I heard Rand Paul mention it in a clip from the debates last night. I didn't watch the whole debate. Did you, Ben? Did you get a chance to catch the Republican debate?
I didn't watch. Okay, not a second of it.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a second of it.
I hear you. Yeah, he did mention it. He mentioned it. Rand Paul, he had attended, like he went to Ferguson. He has been a little bit more active than the other Republicans on the stage. So he kind of shamed them because he was the only person who had any type of, interaction with Black Lives Matter or anything to that nature, who wasn't afraid to say it on the stage. But yeah, to Bernie Sanders' point, man, to him, he's the only candidate, in my opinion, who really addresses it. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, in fairness to Rand Paul mentions it, but he mentions it in passing, and he rarely mentions it from the perspective of white supremacy against black people. Actually, not rarely. He never talks about it in that respect. Bernie Sanders is now talking about it, and that's because of Black Lives Matter getting with him in Netroots Nation back in August, I believe. You know, they protested him, and he couldn't talk, and all he could do was listen. And as a result of that, you actually heard him change, right? He quote unquote evolved on it and start talking about the white supremacist structure that empowers these police officers to target black people. And he expressly says it as things that are being done to black people, black women, that would never be done to white women.
Yep.
And listen, that's not news. That's not news to us. We know that, right? Those of us who've been in this thing for a little while, we know exactly what's happening. But to have an inch, and I'm telling you, it's a fight of inches, right? That's a step in the right direction. We're not going to get everything we want out of not a single candidate that might get elected. We're not. But can we get one more thing than we got last time? And she's right. What we need, the place we're trying to go, it's not going to happen in our lifetimes.
Right.
But it would never happen if we don't at least put us on the right track.
I agree, man. You know, and I feel the pain, man. I feel the pain that people, they express, and it's so hard to make them understand, Ben, that I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying we have to move in the right direction just a little. I mean, I understand it. It's like you say, Ben, you pegged it, man. They want it all, and I want it all too. I wish I could have it all too. I wish that, you know, we had Malcolm X. I wish I had Malcolm X run. I think he was intellectual. He was intelligent. He could speak for every man as well. But that's not that's not the option. Unfortunately, that's not our option. And let me just add this before I go to the next call. The other thing about Bernie Sanders that impresses me, Ben, and everyone listening, I just feel sincerity. You know what? Maybe because he's 74, I don't think he's out to get a new car or a better house or a boat or a library. You know, I don't think he's out for material ruling power. I don't think he's out just to make a name for himself. If so, he would have had different policies up to now that pretty much put him in a box for years, decades even. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I support him, because I just see, what I see in him is just realness. And frankly, I don't see that anywhere else. So make your own decisions. I'm going to go to the next call, but that's how I see it. Wow. Kim got me, man. She really got me. Hey, you're live with Tim Black and Ben Dixon. Who's this?
Hello.
Hey, Linda from VA.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. You're live with Tim and Ben. What's on your mind?
Yes, I've been listening to everybody's point of view, and I know they says it's your civic duty to vote as a U.S. citizen. You're obligated, and we should vote based on the principles and based on their policies and legislation, whatever, not on popularity, power, money, skin color, or sex of the person. And I understand that, but the thing is, some people can't trust any of them. They feel like blacks will suffer no matter who wins because they feel like the Black Lives Matter is not an issue for them.
Mm-hmm.
But some people say they don't see the point or purpose
Right.
of voting. And I because they feel like that they are selected and not elected. But I mean, I'm just going on what I've been hearing a lot of people say out there,
Right.
But I see what you were saying about Bernie Sanders, but I don't know. He may be the best person. He may be.
I mean, that's.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. And
But I mean, like I said in the beginning, that's what people say is do this to vote, just like serving in the military or something, or paying taxes to do, like that. But anyway, I wanted to say something about President Obama. It took him the first 4 years anyway to clean up the mess that Bush made.
Talk to me.
And then the other fellow, I guess he's trying to implement, what he wanted to do. But anyway, but he's out now, so they're going to have a new president. So,
Right.
I don't know why I hear a lot of bad and negative things about President Obama, but I don't know. I mean, but like this, I have to understand that he's just a figurehead, a puppet on the stage. But anyway, back to you.
I'll let Ben respond to that. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I have a lot of critique. I want to call it critique of President Obama. There's a lot of things that, well, let me start here. I'll say this as quickly as I can. Number one, I never expected Obama to be the black president, to be the president of black people, because I listened to the game he was running, right? He's a smooth talker. He was running a good game. But he was also pretty clear about his positions on a lot of things. And listening to him in 2008, I knew going in that he was never going to be the black president. You guys got to check out a video of Michael Eric Dyson talking about Willie Mays and how President Obama isn't Moses. President Obama is Pharaoh, right? And that's absolutely true. So when people criticize President Obama a lot, it's because they had too many expectations of him. I never had a whole lot of positive black expectations of President Obama. My criticism of him has been from his perspective as a progressive. There's a lot of things that he has not done as a progressive that the truth of the matter is what your last caller just said was very true. A lot of the things he couldn't get done because after just 2 years, he was fighting against two houses of Congress that weren't going to do anything to work with him,
right.
And in fact made it clear that they wanted to make their only goal was to get him out of office the first time around. So you got to look at it in its totality. In its totality, President Obama never said he was going to be the black president. Matter of fact, he gave plenty of hints to the contrary, right? If you listen really closely to him, he was never going to be our black president. Number two, he is all right. He's barely a progressive. He's okay. I'll give him some credentials, but he didn't do enough, and that's where I really laid the most critique at him. But then also you have to do it in context of all those people up there who just don't want nothing else but to destroy him. Right. So I'm not on board with a whole lot of negative talk about President Obama because I feel like people they're not taking the whole picture of it, and they have greater expectations of him than they should have. They should have been really sober about the skinny dude from Chicago on the South Side who, by way of Harvard, right? You got Chicago creds, but you got to know who you're putting in office.
Right. I think part of it, Ben, and I agree with what you just said, man, but I think part of it was that black people are so used to walking up and thinking another black person has the same interests, that they speak the same language, that they come from the same background. And we made that mistake. I mean, we saw a brother, and you know, I think it was Robin Harris who said, you know, you think it's a brother, and then you say, "What's up, my brother?" And it's a boo 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 boo, you know, a boo 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 boo. You feel me? Because
Dude, you said it so much simpler than I did. That's why you hit it, man. I should have said it just like you said it, because what you said is way better, right? They walking up and expecting Obama to zap him up and give him the hookup, and President Obama never had the inclination to do such.
right.
But you said it better than I did.
What he had, thank you, Ben, I appreciate it, my brother. What he had around him was he had some hip, cool white guys that knew black culture, and they knew how to slide in certain mannerisms, certain walks, remember the dirt off the shoulder with the Jay-Z? I mean, this guy, he didn't have to give us anything. His representation of being a black man who was hip was enough. Being a black man on fleek, a black man that's cool, that he has swag, that was enough to I don't know, what is it, comatose us, or get us liquored up, sort of drunk off the idea of a black man being in office. And so in reality, we didn't have, our expectations were high, but they really weren't based on what he said. I mean, yeah, he sold us a dream, but every politician sells the dream. Every politician walks up for the most part and says, "Hey, I'm here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you want to hear." That's what they all do. And if you don't know that by now, that's because you're either new to the process or you just haven't been paying attention, because that's what they all do. That's what the Republicans are doing right now.
Tim, let me do this for you, Tim. Can you just... I got to applaud you.
Appreciate it, man. But also, Ben, and I've heard this said, I think our brother Roland Martin, and I'm a Roland Martin fan. I mean, Roland, I like the fact it doesn't seem to me that he's afraid to speak his mind. I like brothers to speak their mind, and Roland seems to be that type of brother. I wish he could do more, but he is only one guy, so I'm gonna leave it alone. He didn't do well by my girl Gina Best, who I'm gonna hopefully introduce you to, because she has an issue concerning her daughter, India Kager. We'll talk about that at another time. But the point is this.
Okay.
When the black reverends went with Donald Trump and they met with him behind closed doors, and at the end of the day, they didn't discuss any policy points. They were just happy to be in a room with Donald Trump. That's the same way I felt black folks did Obama. But you know what, guys? It will never happen again, because you will never become so enamored with a black guy running for executive office again. You'll never be that way again. We were slipping this time.
But you know what?
Go ahead, bro.
Let me say something. Because, you know, I like Roland Martin. However, they hold positions over influence over the black community that they are not properly using their platforms, and I lump all of them into this. They're not using their platforms to educate us, right? As one of your callers said, that they're entertaining us. And right now, you see them entertaining us with Hillary Clinton. They made the assumption that black America just loves them some Hillary Clinton, right? That's all you hear on the news all day long. You get black people being bought out to go on TV and say, "Oh, black America loves Hillary Clinton." And they're not doing the necessary job of educating us truthfully about Hillary Clinton's record in the black community. And so long as we have entertainers on television who are just getting paid to do and play a role, not properly educating us, because let's be real, when a person is working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, everybody ain't stupid like you and me, Tim, where they're going to go and do some reading as soon as they get off work and then put a show in so they can educate somebody else, right? Some people need to get fed this information. And people like, I'm not going to call any more names, but some black media heads, they are not using their platforms to educate us. They're using their platforms to manipulate us. And I want you to watch the news if you can stomach it. Watch the news right now, and the narrative that they're trying to manipulate us with is that black folks are just in love with Hillary Clinton. Bullshit.
I know that's not true. But you know what? You're right, Ben. I do not watch the news to that extent. But do these black folks you're referring to, Ben, do they own the platforms that they're on? Do they have the authority?
They don't own the damn thing.
Well, yeah. Then it's up to you and I, Ben. That's why my friend was like, you need to hook up with Ben Dixon because you own your platforms.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Man, I'm just.
wow. Well, you know what? Let me bring somebody in. Hey, look, guys, the phone number 323-870-4064. 323-870-4064. Hey, you're live with Tim Black. Who's this? Hello?
Hey, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine, friend. Who are you? Who is this?
Let's go by. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you have us on a laptop or something?
You hear my fan or something? Oh.
Yeah, I'm hearing you like you're in a tomb.
Oh, okay.
You're alive, right? You ain't from the. You're not from
I'm
the
hearing
creepy,
a little.
huh?
Yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of feedback of myself, so it's kind of confusing me.
Oh, you sound better now, though. But go ahead and state your question, my friend.
Yeah. So, no, I can't do this. I keep hearing myself like an echo or something. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he's you know, everybody else I heard them fine. He was the only one I couldn't hear fine. But you know, I don't want to make this the Roland Martin Baez session, though I don't owe him nothing. Yeah, but what is this? I didn't know he was the Hillary supporter. Is that what you're getting at?
No, you know, I don't think he hasn't come out as a Hillary supporter as much as I don't think that they are using their platforms to properly dissect what's really going on.
I feel you. I know what you mean. I feel you.
Specifically, they are not talking about the fact that Hillary Clinton has played a major role in the criminal justice reform act of 1994 that actually has put a lot of our cousins in prison for a very long time. So she has had a hand in that. Right. But instead of even debate, right, I'm not saying they have to crucify her for it. They're not even debating it. What they're doing instead is saying, we love Hillary Clinton.
So it's that old trick that I try to tell my viewers about. I said, you judge a man when they have a platform, not just about what they say, but about what they don't say. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, because she wants credit. She wants credit, Ben, for the good stuff her husband did, but none of the bad stuff. Mm. Oh, I was powdering my nose during that time. Oh, you mean when he locked up all them black people? Oh, I was busy. Raising Chelsea. I had to do that. But yeah, when it comes to defending the country, she wants to take credit for that and other things. NAFTA. She was asleep during NAFTA. She didn't witness any of that shit.
Yeah, and I love that. Judge them not only by what they say, but what they don't say. And all this information that's out here that we're feeding each other, that's internet, you're not going to hear hardly any of this. And the saddest part, Tim, is not just white people not beating. It's not just white people. It's black folks who have been hurt by the system, not telling us the truth about politicians.
I agree, man. Exactly. But see, that goes back to the thing where everybody is a brother ain't a brother, man. And I think they're looking out for themselves, thinking, if Hillary gets nominated, they want to be on the right side of it. They did the same thing with Obama. Now that I think about it, when he was running in 2008, they weren't on board. They were like, until it was obvious that it was Obama, they were pretty skittish.
Bruh, not only were they, a lot of these distinguished Negroes endorsed Clinton first. So not only were they skittish, they didn't have any support for President Hillary Clinton. So they, I don't want people to think whatever the hell they want to think about. But let's just be clear. I don't have any more respect for the black political elite or the black media elite, people who they put on television, because they're not telling you even half of the story. And that's the part that's destroying us, is that they're looking at us and they're just trying to usher us over into the next politician. And if you look at the person they're trying to push, I say go for the opposite person.
Because there's a reason for them pushing it? Is that it?
Yeah, there's a reason.
They pushing us. They are seriously trying to push all of Black America into the hands of Madam Hillary Clinton. And the fact of the matter is, if that's the narrative they're pushing, and we know from historical perspective that we can't trust them, then we sure as hell should just do the opposite of what the media tells us to do.
I agree, man. I mean, I just feel like, I don't know if we, I don't want to feel like I'm one of those people trying to shoehorn people into voting for Bernie, but I'm just saying what else you got? What else you got? So someone call me up and tell me what else you got. I mean, if you maybe someone needs to tweet it out, get some Trump supporters in here, because I really want to hear what their argument is, bro. You know what I'm saying? I want to know, what am I missing? Unlike, I don't know about you, Ben. Ben is a proclaimed progressive, meaning I've never chose a party, Ben. I never went out and said, hey, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. I told everyone, I made a deal with my viewers. I said I was going to go with the best candidate. A lot of people didn't like that, Ben, but I said, hey, I'm going to look at the Republicans, and I'm going to do it honestly and openly, and I'm going to look at the Democrats. So, yeah, I voted for Obama, but I was prepared to go another way if I needed to. But I don't need to. I don't need to, bro. I don't need to.
Yeah, and just to be sure, I am not a Democrat.
Oh,
I am a progressive. I am a progressive, which the Democratic Party. Let's be. I think what your first caller, socialist, right?
Right, Democratic socialist.
Progressives are Democratic socialists. So progressives can be as far left as a socialist, as far left as a communist, and they might just be like a Bernie Sanders type progressive, right? But the Democratic Party, right there, the establishment party,
okay,
they're all exactly the same Republican.
Gotcha. I'm looking for a working definition that we can all get behind and kind of agree on, because I will admit, man, I hear the term a lot, and I hear some people using it. I know they're using it out of context, and maybe I just did now. When I use it, and I used it as a almost as an identifier for a Democrat, which, like you just stated, is not the same thing. What are some things that separate progressives from, let's say, middle of the road, moderate Democrats?
All right, so you're moderate Democrat, like a Bill Clinton, like a Barack Obama. They're fully in support of these international trade agreements that exposes American workers to compete with Chinese workers, for instance, right? So the TPP, by virtue of President Trump, and the NAFTA, courtesy of Bill Clinton, both of those policies open American workers in competition with people who need $5 a day to live, and we might need $75, $100 a day to live. So all of our jobs end up going overseas because we have liberalized our economic system, and we're doing it even more so. So that's one of the number one things. If you want to see the difference between a regular middle-of-the-road Democrat and a progressive, most progressives, if they know their policy, they would not support the TPP, and they are very disappointed in NAFTA. The other thing is, a lot of middle-of-the-road Democrats are willing to sacrifice safety net, Social Security, food stamps, welfare, all the things that help people fall in between the gaps. That's the first thing. That's one of the first things Bill Clinton gutted was welfare. And they call it welfare reform.
Right.
Making a lot of people starve. To be quite honest with you, a lot of kids raised in even deeper poverty. That's the difference between a Democrat, that's a person with a D by the name, and a progressive. So there's a lot more, but I'll stop there.
Okay. That's interesting, man. In fact, I think we needed to probably should have started off doing that, but then again, this show wasn't just about Ben Dixon's political affiliation.
Yeah.
But still, though, I mean, I think it's important for people to make that distinction. Let me see if I think we got a new person in the queue. Hey, you're live with Tim Black. Who's this?
Hey, sorry, I had a problem when I called from
you sound...
Skype, so I went ahead and called from my phone instead.
Okay, you sound fine now, my friend. What was your name? I'm sorry.
Alex.
Alex from Meerkat.
We're at, let's just say, parts unknown.
Okay, it's parts unknown. Okay, I thought I'm familiar with an Alex that follows me on Meerkat. I thought you were him. But anyway, go ahead, Alex.
All right.
What's your question or statement, my friend?
Now, you're saying who else but Bernie Sanders, but I'm a Donald Trump supporter. That sounds in the realm of possibility.
Okay.
I wonder what you have to think of that. I don't see why he wouldn't be a tenable candidate.
No. Why do you? No, it's up to you, my friend. If you've chosen him, what is your why is he an attractive candidate for you? It's your vote he's getting.
Yeah.
And then, look,
well,
I'm not going. Look, hold on, Alex. I'm not going to demonize you, my friend. I'm going to let you, just give me your opinion. Everybody's entitled to it. Go ahead.
First of all, I see Bernie Sanders as a big threat since he's a socialist. I know people like to use the term democratic socialism, but I believe that socialism is inherently totalitarian. And whenever you have a Lenin character, you always end up getting a Stalin character. So when he's talking about political revolution and such, I mean, he's just going to, when the next administration comes or as things progress, it'll, I think, gradually become more totalitarian. And I support Donald Trump because he's the only candidate that cares about illegal immigration. Bernie Sanders touts himself up as a progressive, talking about the poor and the low wages and all that, but illegal immigration lowers wages and suppresses wages. And am I still on the line? You hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't think that issues such as poverty and all of that are important?
No, I did not say that. I'm saying that if that is an issue, you should support, reducing the flows of immigration. Because with low-skilled labor coming in from Central America and Mexico, that's lowering the wages of the native residents of the country, including especially Black Americans and lower-income Americans.
Oh, okay.
I think if the illegal immigrants were coming and they were taking all the think tank jobs or they were taking hedge fund manager jobs, we would halt immigration overnight, because then that affects the actual vested interests. But as far as the poor and disenfranchised,
right?
Rich people don't mind that. They have their free servant essentially. Well, not free, but very easily to get a domestic when you can pay them, below the minimum wage or such.
Well, I appreciate you. Hey, Ben, I'll let you go first. My bad. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, no problem. You can go.
Okay.
So you said a whole lot, and I actually know every definition that you said, and I'm sorry, Tim. I'm a progressive caller. I'll try to be respectful.
Hey, Ben, you're kind of breaking up a little bit, Ben. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm
hearing it. Kind of funny.
Yeah, you're kind of going in and out a little bit.
Okay, what about now?
Sound better now? Yeah.
Okay, right here. Right. So, it's left to even use Donald Trump and totalitarian in the same sentence and apply it to someone else, because Donald Trump is the epitome of a dictator, and he's the epitome of using populism to rile up a very nationalistic sentiment that is not only nationalistic, it's xenophobic, and it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. You've seen this in history, so I just thought it was funny because you would see a person who's talking about not even socialism in that kind of framework, but you want to apply totalitarianism to him, but can't see the pure dictatorial nature of Donald Trump in everything he does. He is definitely, and I want to just like him. Ted Cruz, he is absolutely a person who wants to move us into more of a dictatorial, authoritarian rule to strip the rights of people they don't agree with. That is their MO. And it was extremely funny that you applied that to Bernie Sanders, but not to Donald Trump. That's one. Number two, it's just factually not true that immigrants lower the wages of the average American. Number one, because immigrants are coming and doing jobs that the average American is not going to do. South Florida, they bring illegal immigrants in to pick tomatoes. There's not one average American that's going to go out there and pick tomatoes for that kind of money. Number two about that is that it is corporations that keep illegal immigration alive. Not America.
Yes,
not
exactly.
but it's corporations. Hang on. Let me tell you why though. This is one big game. They keep it alive because they can pay below minimum wage, right? That's why they keep it alive. But it's not a problem of the border. If we wanted to stop illegal immigration right now, all we would have to do is fine companies that hire illegal immigrants. If we find them to the point where it's no longer valuable, they would stop it. So this concern that Donald Trump has about illegal immigration, his solution is a goddamn wall. No, the solution is to penalize every single company that is hiring illegal immigrants. So they've sold you a bill of goods, and you're believing in a guy who's giving you a solution that makes you feel good, but it's not practical in the sense that as long as corporations can get away with this, illegal immigrants will always come to the United States.
And
all right, there's a lot of stuff you said, not all of it I disagree with, but I mean, a lot of it was good points. I'll speak first on the corporation thing. I agree. It's absolutely true. And that's part of his platform for addressing illegal immigration. It's more multifaceted than just building a wall. He does want to enforce the, what's it called? I forget, the E-Verify system, and to penalize corporations and companies which use illegal labor. Wants to, if, let's say, a country like Mexico sends a lot of people on a visa to work, and they are not like cooperating and obeying the law properly, like letting people overstay their visa. Well, in such a case, we would prohibit visas being issued to that country. And then as far as totalitarianism, people throw this around. They make these lurid, I think, ridiculous comparisons to Mussolini and Hitler and, you know, European fascism in the 20th century, or Franco of Spain, or anything like that. I don't think that's applicable at all. I don't.
You think it's more
anything
like Sanders and Lenin? Come on, man.
No. I'm sorry. Maybe I misspoke. I'm saying Lenin is more comparable to Bernie Sanders. I mean, I'm saying what follows that is a figure like Stalin. The revolutionaries come with good intentions and they want to reform and all this, but I'm saying that that's not how. They're the people who enabled the totalitarians later on. I'm not saying that Bernie Sanders has totalitarian intentions.
Here's something that's a fundamental truth that I think most people, both liberal, Democrats, Republicans, people, everybody, black people, white people, everybody seems to forget this reality, that there can be dictators, authoritarian rule, abusive regimes from every sector. There can absolutely be a Donald Trump dictatorship, and I see it in him, but most Republicans cannot see that this is the type of guy who riles up an audience into a frenzy to hurt people. This is Donald Trump. He has actually done this, right? That's not a hyperbole.
Okay, who is he hurting?
Hang on. That's number one. So I think the fact that you can see a Lenin figure inside of a Bernie Sanders and not see the Mussolini figure inside of Donald Trump means that, and I'm not trying to insult you, but it means that you bought into the Kool-Aid of Donald Trump. That's the nicest way I can say it.
Well, let me put it to you this way: why I support Donald Trump. Sorry, is that a drop or something? Oh well. Well, I'm not a conservative. I've come to this through libertarianism, just put it that way. And the way I see candidates is there's never going to be a candidate who you agree with on everything. You have to make fundamental compromises just to find someone you would like to endorse. I'm sure there are plenty of things you find very unpalatable about Sanders, perhaps. And I'm willing to support Trump, despite I don't think he's necessarily a good moral person. I mean, divorced women and, done other things which I don't personally approve of.
In exchange for what? What's the
I'm sorry, what
positive?
did you say?
In exchange for what? What's the positive that you support Trump on?
Prohibit restrictions on immigration, restrictions on trade with China and other countries that don't reciprocate free trade. See, I'm a free trader, but the thing is, like with Japan and China, it doesn't go both ways. They can easily sell in this country, but we can't easily sell in those countries because they have hidden ways of imposing tariffs and import taxes. So it's not like a free way either way. So I think Donald Trump would renegotiate those either so that it's actual free trade, or if they're not willing to cooperate, we wouldn't trade with them. So,
okay.
I mean, who else is...
Are there more? Are there more reasons?
Hold on, I gotta open up my little page here, sorry.
Well, while you're looking that up, Alex, I do want to add in this because you spoke in the beginning about black folks and we should be concerned with employment. And I just wanted to bring up the whole poverty issue. I mean, that's a deciding factor.
90 seconds.
That's a deciding factor for me. And some of the statistics on poverty are just so staggering. I would think a person from a libertarian point of view would consider those things important. I mean, I think they're drastically important to our country, particularly to, as you say, African Americans. I mean, we make 45% of African Americans children under the age of 6 are living under the poverty line. That's far more consequential than, say, some black folks who aren't picking tomatoes somewhere out in Florida somewhere or something. I mean, we have some other issues, and I don't hear Trump talking about poverty. And frankly, 1 out of 6 Americans are living under the poverty line. It'd be 1 out of 3 if it weren't for government benefits. So this is
all of the stuff that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
What I was going to say is all of the stuff that Donald Trump has been selling people. When you go to his tax policy, all of this populism that he's stirring and belief in people, a lot of poor white people who are joining in with Donald Trump. When you look at Donald Trump's tax policy, Donald Trump's tax policy gives him a tremendous tax break while gutting a lot of the programs that help working class white people along the way, as well as working class poor people. And the reason I bring that up first, amongst everything else, is because it's the sleight of hand. It's the sleight of hand that a lot of these neoliberal politicians do, in the sense that they make you concerned about, let's say, China. But when in reality, we have the exact trade deal that our corporations want with China. You know why? Because they are able to get access to China's middle class and to sell their goods to China's middle class. Sure, they probably would want a fewer lower tariffs. But you know what? They can get access to what they want to make the profit margins that they want for this quarter. They're good. And so if we needed, and we absolutely fundamentally had to have a different trade tariff with a trading arrangement with China, and it was not good for our corporations would not be investing so much as they are. They would not be building their factories close enough to China so that they can bring down their transportation costs. So it's a sleight of hand to make us fearful of the big bad wolf of China, when in reality, China is so interdependent on the United States. We are all in bed with China. But so long as he can make you afraid of China, then he gets in office and does nothing but lowers his taxes. Or he can be childish, like he has proven himself to be, and start a trade war, which inevitably leads to other types of conflict, because he just wants to be bombastic and he wants to build a wall and do all these things that are not the bottom line. Most of everything that Donald Trump has proposed, as well as the other Republicans, are not solutions to problems. They're merely entertainment for fodder.
Okay, I don't exactly see what you're trying to say the sleight of hand is. What do you mean? Are you referring?
The sleight of hand is he's convinced a lot of people that he's going to do something for hardworking Americans. You look at his tax policy is doing something for his bottom line, and that's it. And it's actually hurting. Go to his website, look at the reviews, look at the conservative think tank reviews on his policies, and it's more beneficial to the top 1% than it is to him. All the while, he's convinced his voters that he's doing something for them. All of these poor white people running around supporting him, thinking Donald Trump is going to do something good for them, and he's doing something for his class himself. That's number one. The other sleight of hand, he has you afraid of Mexico, and he's talking about building a wall. Reality is, corporations want illegal immigration, and as long as they want it, Donald Trump benefits from this too. Don't get it twisted. Donald Trump has had problems with illegal immigrants working for him. Donald Trump has benefited from it, but he has you afraid of it. And the reality of it is he's been benefiting from it. Same thing with China. He has you afraid of China. Donald Trump has his shirts. First of all, shirts made in China and Mexico.
Right.
So I'm just saying, the sleight of hand is that he makes you afraid of something that he's benefiting from. And that's the MO of most conservatives.
Can I actually get a little word in? I'm not, he hasn't made me afraid of anything. I agree with his positions. Like, it's not brought me into a fervor of fear or anything. I think there actually are legitimate issues with the way we have our trade policies with China and immigration policies with Mexico, and the fact that corporations are one of the main impetuses for illegal immigration is exactly one of the reasons it needs to be addressed. And as far as the tax plan, I understand that he has a multifaceted tax plan, as in like I think multiple brackets as far as the income you make, you pay this percent or whatever. I don't necessarily agree with all that. I don't really agree with getting rid of all the deductibles, like the home deductible, or I don't really like when Republicans start talking about that, because they're kind of skirting the issue of why we got those to begin with. It's to help people, and a multifaceted flat tax I don't think would be very much better than just a flat tax. So I don't really necessarily agree with him on his tax plan, and I don't know if he could get that passed through the Congress, even through a Republican Congress. But I do think he can easily renegotiate the trade policies with China and the immigration policies with Mexico.
That's the sleight of hand. The sleight of hand is he has you convinced that he's actually worried about that, when in actuality he's benefiting from it right now, today. Donald Trump benefits from our trade relationships with China, and Donald Trump benefits from illegal immigration. Not only Donald Trump, but some of his donors. He had you thinking that he's not taking money for this campaign when he has taken millions of dollars for this campaign. It is the sleight of hand. He's the master of it. He has convinced you that he is against some of the very things that he benefits from. Now, you can look it up. I don't want to, I'm Tim, I'm sorry, I'm consuming all this time of yours. And so I'm going to be quiet and pass it back to Tim, but that's it. I'm just going to be quiet.
Well, I appreciate it, man. No problem, Ben. Alex, hey, look, it looks like we're not going to disagree. I mean, not going to agree on this situation. We could probably go on all night with it. I will say this, though. Bernie Sanders disagreed. He was against NAFTA in 94. He was against the free trade in 2000. He was actually in a position where it cost him politically, and he was against it. Donald Trump, on the other hand, had companies that have been benefited. You know, so but I don't understand. Well, you know what? Okay. So they're you know.
Can I just make one?
You can make
one recommendation for you.
You can make the You can make the last comment.
Adios America by Miss Ann Coulter.
Oh God!
Probably the best book to come out last year.
All right, man. Well, thank
you. Gotta do it. I'll send you a copy.
All right, Captain. Take care, Alex. Oh my God.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares? Does he look like a bitch?
Oh, Lord have mercy. But I like Alex, though. I mean, Alex, man, hey, look, and I don't want to talk bad about you, Alex. You seem like a very nice guy, man. You offered to send me a book. What the hell, man? You can go buy my book. The Truth Hurts, but the Beats Alive is on sale on Amazon. But, look, man, I think you are just like Ben said, man. You're drinking the Kool-Aid on Trump. He's just telling you stuff. He hasn't actually been in any position to show you his past actions are in line with what he's spilling to you today. And that's what I got a problem with. There's nothing at all tangible that you could say that would lead me to believe he's even being sincere. One thing that he could point to, his policies when he was in a position to show he cared about American workers. He did not walk the walk. He did not walk the talk. Yeah, he did not walk the talk. Just last year. Come on, so if he had if his priority was American workers and keeping jobs in America, why is he getting his clothes manufactured outside of America? And you say, well, it's just because he's a good businessman. No, not if you are real. See, that's why I don't want him to be president, because he doesn't really care about people, or he would do the right thing. How could you argue that a person that wants to be president should be the type of man who would employ Americans? That should be like fundamental. So to me, he's not cut from the correct cloth, the correct form of cloth. Like, you can have a great shirt, it can look great, but if it's not not made of the right materials, it will never feel as good as a quality shirt. And frankly, that's Donald Trump. He's not cut from the correct type of cloth, a quality cloth that I want to wear for the next 4 years, my brother. That's just me, okay? Wow. Ben, I don't know, man. We got a little bit more time. I think we've talked to everybody who was my phone line cut off. We got people in the queue, Ben, but I don't know if they've hold on, let me try one. Let me try this folks right here. Hey, how you doing? This is Tim Black. Did you get a chance to talk yet? Is this mystical?
No, not yet. How you doing, Tim McLeod?
Oh man, I'm glad you guys hung on. Man, I tell you, I got Ben. I have Ben Dixon in the house tonight, and Ben has been really keeping it going, man. I've been getting caught up and just falling back, man, and letting Ben do his thing, you know.
Yes.
He's been doing a good job.
Yeah, I've been enjoying listening to Ben this evening.
Absolutely.
I wasn't sure about Bernie Sanders. I know he's, done a lot of grassroots things, etc. Obama had too. You see how he got blocked out and everything. I was worried the same thing's going to happen to Bernie. My friends keep telling me, vote for Bernie, vote for Bernie. I was like, I don't know, because what I think is going to happen, what I'm thinking is, America politically cannot go through business as usual and then, oh my God, it's a black man, to wow, what a progressive guy. They that little lump, that little bump in the road, oh my God, it's a black man, is going to give way to business as usual. It's going to get back to Bush and Clinton.
Oh God.
I don't have faith enough in America to believe that they will elect someone like Bernie right after they've elected Obama. America needs a breather. It's been holding its breath for 8 years. It's time to breathe.
I say we let them. Let them pass out and die. We need to. Absolutely. Let them hold their breath until they pass out and die with the stupidity. The stupidity got to die. The ignorance, this intransigence, all they want. I mean, the things that they want. Let me start here, and I'll be really quick because I've been talking too much. This is Tim's show. Tim, I appreciate you bringing me.
No problem.
They have a vested interest in making you not want to vote and for them to maintain power. And I would say we should just rob them of everything that they want and put somebody in there that's going to make them hold their breath for another 8 years. And maybe this time they'll pass out. Agreed.
Well, I hope that happens. I hope that happens. And I agree totally with Kim. I know how she feels because every time I hear about another black person getting shot down in the street, a young black boy getting arrested for something stupid and then winding up dead at the hands of the police.
Right.
Every time I hear about things like that, it breaks my heart and makes me angry. Yeah. So I understand where she's coming from. I tell you, there are nights when I just sat up and cried over it. Listening to her, I felt her pain. I know what that's like. And sometimes I wind up saying, please, black men, black boys, think. I know you like to run around carefree and feeling like you can do whatever you want because you're in America, but damn it, yes, you are in America, and you're a black male, and think about that and realize there are restrictions. I know there shouldn't be restrictions. But they are there. And you have to learn to put the brakes on yourself just for preservation's sake. It is breaking the hearts of the black woman to see you wind up in prison or dead or strung out on drugs or running behind some white woman who don't really understand you. It hurts us to the quick to see you go through that. And when we fuss at you, when we go off on you, it's because we're asking ourselves, don't you see what's happening? Can't you understand it the way we understand it? Can't you please just listen to us?
Oh, no. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, Carter. Say something.
What up? Tim, you got a buzzer sound effect. Can I get a buzzer real quick for some of that foolishness?
Shut up.
Ben, I'd like to ask you two very serious questions. I know Tim has heard this before, and he might enjoy this. Do you think if Donald Trump is elected, he will release his zombies? I mean, he said everything else, but I mean, so shit.
If I would say if he had access to them, Donald Trump would release them on Mexico just to prove a point.
Just population control sake, you know. Okay.
I swear up and down, that's what he's got under that hair. He's got little green men under that hair.
They being silly, man. These guys doing that. See, Alex is somewhere. Alex was going to send me an Ann Coulter book, and now I'm sure he won't because you guys are making fun of Donald Trump like that. And you know I want to buy Ann Coulter book, man. Shit.
I mean, the dude's radical. I mean, what hasn't he said yet? The only thing he ain't said yet is I'm gonna release the zombies and call somebody a nigger. I mean, he said every damn thing else. I mean, that was solidified. That was solidified a white book for Donald Trump for real.
Let me tell you. I've been listening to the Republican candidates talk. I pay very close attention to their debates.
They talk about shit.
I was very, very disappointed in Trump because I heard the other candidates tell what they have done. They have done this. They have written this or that bill, or they voted for this, or they put this in place. They changed this. You know what I heard Trump say?
What is that?
So-and-so told me this and that happened. Well, a friend of mine who does this told me this, that, and the other thing.
Yep.
There was never anything firsthand. Everything was secondhand. Everything was hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was a guy who was saying he was taking credit for something on the sly that somebody else did or said or accomplished themselves. And because he's associated with that person, he feels like he can take credit for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And sat there waiting to hear what he had done. I heard no philanthropic things about him.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
I didn't hear him say he opened a school or built a playground or nothing.
Right.
I didn't hear anything from the guy.
Right. And you know what? And that's...
And I was like, I was very disappointed.
Right. And that was something...
Donald Trump.
That was something. I hate to cut you off. Hate to cut you off there, Mystical. But that was something that I brought up in my Donald Trump show. And somebody got some feedback going on. And I said that, you know, that there was no examples of him in the past doing any activity that would make me feel that he was a great candidate, or that he cared about people, or that he was going to fight for the middle class, or he was going to fight for children, anyone other than himself, other than the 1%. And that's been an issue. And of all the people who have called up about Trump, no one has ever been able to give me an example of one single solitary thing that he's ever done in his entire life that wasn't about himself. And in my opinion, that should be a prerequisite of a leader, let alone a president.
Exactly.
Ben?
Exactly. I feel the same way.
I agree.
Because Donald Trump is speaking from a businessman point of view. All the examples he's giving, what he's really saying is that he feels America needs a businessman to fix his problems, and that he can cut the best deals out of anybody because he's a slick businessman, better than a slick politician. What I also heard Donald Trump say the other night, and this is just my gut feeling, he's gonna give us more enemies than what we can handle, running his mouth.
Yeah.
I said this before. Y'all better leave China the hell alone.
Right.
They're gonna say, "Give me my money," and all hell's gonna break loose. Them and all their allegiances.
You know, I want to speak up for the businessmen, though. There are a lot of businessmen who have done great things, man. Don't tell me that. No, you know, Bill Gates is a businessman, very, very giving person. Steve Case, founder of AOL, businessman, very giving. Donald Trump is a businessman, but he's not giving. He can't look. He don't even have a line of youth groups or civic organizations that he donated to. He don't even have some children that he's adopted. Nothing. I've got nothing but flat-butted white women who he's married. That's it. That's about it. I mean, he's helped some women out that he was sleeping with. That's about it. I mean, that could be wrong.
You forgot about the Black Panthers he donated to.
The Black Panthers?
No, the Black Pastors.
Oh, the Black Pastors. He did give them
Oh,
money?
the Black Pastors.
He gave them
He donated to the Black Pastors for a photo shoot. I mean, doesn't that count?
I thought he gave them plane fare.
Same difference. Plain fare, some chicken, some watermelon, and some good Kool-Aid.
Damn.
Shit.
I'm done with y'all, man. But you ain't lying.
Hey, it is what it is, man. I don't know. Ben.
But another thing.
Is Ben still there?
Another thing about Trump.
Yeah, I'm here, Tim.
He has to get over this thing where he cannot get along with women.
Let's go
He
back.
cannot stand a woman to question him. He cannot stand a woman to stand toe-to-toe with him.
Right.
And if he's going to be a leader, he's going to have to get over that.
No, he's not. Ben already said it. Donald Trump gonna be the real dictator. All that Alex Jones bullshit that he threw on Obama, that's gonna be Trump.
So do you?
Yeah.
So just looking at Bernie Sanders, do we think that is Bernie Sanders doing what he needs to do? It's pretty late in the game at this point. I'm kind of late to the party. I think Ben's been at the party for quite some time, but does he have enough of a push at this point to pull out Iowa? Or I know he's doing well in New Hampshire.
Yeah, he has a good chance of winning New Hampshire and Iowa. I'm not too worried about him there. Where he's struggling is in South Carolina, and the reason he's struggling in South Carolina is because of Hillary Clinton's stranglehold on the black community. There are a lot of black folks who are just going to vote for Hillary just because they're not listening to conversations like we're having. They're not doing their own reading. And they don't even have the right memory, right? They don't even remember her speech about super predators, talking about black people, criminals that we need to heal, like HEEL. We need to heal like we some damn dogs, you know. So they forget where she attacked President Obama, and she was the first one to insinuate that he was not American, or I'm sorry, not that, but that he was a Muslim, right?
Right.
So she threw all, and people forget that, and now it's like it's this love affair with Hillary Clinton. That's where Bernie Sanders is going to have the hardest time with black folks. And now they've thrown, let me tell you, the other thing they did now is it's not bad enough that Hillary Clinton just got black folks voting for her just because her name is Hillary Clinton. Now it's the reparations conversation to make people say, oh, and he doesn't support reparations? So hell no, we're not supporting Bernie Sanders. When, in turn, they're going to go and support Hillary Clinton, her non-reparation one ass, and the fact that she has done so much along with her husband that has been detrimental to the black community in America. So if there's anybody who can make this election, African Americans in South Carolina.
Yes.
You know, y'all want to know how Bernie can fix that?
How's that?
How's that?
He can go down to South Carolina. He can have one show on for the white folks and say, I want all y'all to be armed and only you. Woo! America! He'll get that vote. And then he can go to the black folks and say, I support the revolution. That's it. That's all he got to do.
It's actually pretty sad though. I understand what you're saying, Ben. You're right. I was looking at the demographics about who was voting for Bernie, and it was gosh, I wish I had the demos. If I'm not mistaken, let me get. It was white men. I think white men, because white men predominantly, white men and younger, the younger demographic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Older folks and blacks and women were voting for Hillary.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I was looking
and,
for.
To make that, split that up, black folks, African Americans, right now, even more so than we did with President Obama, African Americans can change the entire game. And I just want to ask a real simple question. Let's say neither Bernie Sanders nor Hillary Clinton brings a revolution, right? Let's agree there. Neither one of them are going to bring a revolution like people want. Who do you think is really going to do more to, I don't want to just say harm black people. Let me start the sentence over. Which of those two do you think is going to do less to harm black people, or less to harm poor people, or less to do, who's going to be the person in bed with Wall Street? Bernie Sanders has
Hillary's going to be in bed with Wall Street.
Exactly. So now whether you decide to vote or not, that's your business. But if you are going to vote, let's just have a real practical conversation about what Hillary Clinton stands for and what Bernie Sanders stands for. And is it a bad thing that we really only have a two-party system that's a viable two-party system? Yeah, I think it's a bad thing. You know what? I'll tell you this, and I'm going to be done, Tim. I'm going to be quiet. I think the best thing in the world for this year, because it's been that kind of a year, would be for Donald Trump to run on the third party, Bernie Sanders to run on the fourth party, and that would make room for Jill Stein as a fifth party. And we have 5 candidates running for president. That would be a wonderful thing for democracy. I don't care what anybody says. That would be great for American democracy.
I'm for it. Amazing. That's a good idea. I wish that could happen. I'd love to see that.
We have to make it happen, Tom.
I'm just thinking I don't think, Trump gave his word that he would not run as an independent, but I think he still would. I think he still would. If he doesn't get the nomination, I see him doing it. He'll just say, the people want me to do it. I'm doing it for the people. The people want it.
He's got too much ego not to do it.
Mm-hmm. I think, I'm torn. I kind of agree with you. I think he has too much of an ego not to do it. He's been this successful. He's got too much of an ego not to go all the way. If they fix the convention and have a broker convention for Republicans, and Donald Trump doesn't get it, he's going to run as a third party.
Yeah.
Oh, and then actually 6 parties. Bloomberg from New York, he just announced that he might be running as an independent.
Wow.
So, I mean,
wow.
That would be great. If we could have more than 2 options, that would be the ideal world.
Okay.
You know, I think the uphill battle, Ben, is that some people just don't believe that Bernie Sanders can win this thing. That's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Hillary's feeding them the line of there's no way that they will elect him. So you got to elect me. If you want to win, you got to elect me. She used the same tactic with Obama, but it didn't work.
Absolutely.
Because based on the polls, they're running almost dead even on favorability ratings amongst Democrats. Hillary's at 80% and Sanders is at 79%. So that means for the majority of people, if Hillary were not to be nominated, they would still vote for Bernie in the general election, and vice versa.
Right.
Now, either they like the other one that much, or they dislike the Republicans that much. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of same result.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tell me something.
Yeah.
Do you think that Trump, if he decides to run as an independent, do you think he would convince Carson to be his running mate?
Oh, my God.
Truthfully. That would be his guarantee that he would stay in office because don't nobody want Carson to come up.
Wow. I don't know, man. It's funny that you bring up Carson. I was reading an article today on the Washington Post where they were describing, they were trying to explain what happened to Carson's campaign. Because you guys got to admit, he was running strong and hard there for a minute. And then...
Yeah.
And they say that's partly due to Armstrong Williams, which is his advisor or something. And I actually met Armstrong Williams, because I'm from D.C. originally. I live in Maryland now, but I actually went on a talk show, Kathy Hughes' morning show, where I was interviewed with Armstrong Williams. And he was conservative then. Now he's just crazy conservative. I mean, I was young. I was probably like 20. But I was like, this guy, I don't know why he was talking bad about black folks back then. That was like 1990, you know, or whatever. I don't know what exactly it was, but it was a long time ago. And I wrote a book. I wrote a book of poetry. That's how long ago. I used to write poetry back in the day. And I was selling a book. And I wrote to Kathy Hughes. I said, Kathy, please let me come on your show so I can talk about my book. And they let me come on. So I went to the radio station, and I was on his show for an entire segment. And this guy would start talking about the community because I had some hip hop poems that are about the black community and stuff we were going through with police brutality. And the whole time, Armstrong Williams was sitting there going, well, don't you think black people bring this on themselves? And don't you think that, do you know, the same bullshit he talks nowadays if you listen to him. And it's just that you brought up Ben Carson that got me thinking about that. But no, I see nothing. I see nothing favorable. There is nothing about Ben Carson that I admire in the Ben Carson that I see now. The Ben Carson I knew in his book, Gifted Hands. Oh yeah, that Ben Carson, I bought that book when I was a kid. It sat up on my, my wall, This Ben Carson, that ain't my Ben Carson. That's their Ben Carson.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, Nambi, the Ben Carson I knew never existed, and this is the real Ben Carson. I don't know. That's possible too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because me and Ben was talking earlier, every brother ain't a brother just because he look like a brother. Boo-boo, 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 boo-boo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something my father used to tell me.
Uh-huh.
He said, don't put all your faith in brother man and sister girl, because first person that's going to be stabbing you in the back is brother man and sister girl.
There you go. There you go. It's a shame, but it's the truth. And Ben was talking about that earlier too, about how black folks, they get in these positions and they don't use their platforms for the betterment of the community. They don't tell the truth. They're not talking about Hillary's background. So what Ben is saying is that there are black folks, and I got my stats now. Hillary's coalition consists of women, non-whites, and self-identified Democrats, and people over 50. Bernie Sanders' coalition consists of men, white voters, independents, who lean Democrat, and youngsters, young people, people under 21. And those black folks can be reached via platforms like Michael Baisden. What's up, family? How y'all doing, family? Is he talking about the bad shit about Hillary? Probably not. Steve Harvey. You know, I mean, it's our disc jockeys, it's our music media. That's what reaches the younger, that's what reaches the black community, in my opinion. The radio stations, not so much BET, but yeah, I think radio is the strongest reach for us. You know, we unfortunately, I got a lot of views, but, you know, look at me, man, I'm struggling. I'm at 55,000 subs. You know, there are white guys talking about cartoons and they have 1 million subs, so we struggle online. Because there's just not enough of us online. You know, honestly, you know, I had to come to face that, Ben, that it's not just our content, it's the fact that it's just people like watching people that resemble them for the most part. And don't get me wrong, I got some great white supporters, but by and large, most of the demographics, they skew white, and that's just the reality. And they want, you know, they're younger, not just white, but younger white guys who want to watch younger white guys. I get it. So our primary media force is still radio, unfortunately.
Can I borrow about?
Check it out. Check it out, Tim.
Yeah.
We're talking about the revolution. The revolution is not going to come from the newscasters on television. It's not going to come from the news on the radio. It's going to come from the internet. Because the internet is independent.
Right.
So you are in an excellent position to tell people what they need to know and to make them think and to give them a place to express themselves, whether they be wild or out or very conservative. That's one thing I like about your show. It doesn't matter what opinion people have, they can put it out there.
Yep.
And it will be listened to and it will be discussed.
That's true.
I like that.
I appreciate it, Nobby.
That's why I'm almost here every night.
Yeah, I'm not knocking this. I'm just saying we really need to band together if we're going to really, because I feel that if more black people thought about their cousins and their brothers and their fathers being in jail due to the policies of Hillary Clinton and her husband, less of them would be fucking voting for Hillary Clinton. But they're not thinking about it because we're not talking about it. And we got black people sitting on the radio today who can reach them and tell them that, but they're scared to tell them. And I can't reach them. I can't talk to them because they're not here. And it frustrates the hell out of me to no end.
With your style, you gotta tap into D.L. Hughley's crowd. Because he don't kiss none of their ass. And Tom Joyner, on the other hand, Tom Joyner's had Hillary on there maybe twice already. The first time he had her on was around about last September. He did a whole show with her that morning. And everybody got to weigh in on it except for J. Anthony Brown, because they were scared he was going to get up there and start talking shit.
They were afraid he was going to say the right thing, to say the truth. They were afraid he was going to speak the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was.
They let Don Lemon get up there. They let Roland Martin, I forgot what the black girl name is, Jackie Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else was in, Tom and Sybil.
It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. I need a brother like Ben to calm me down, man. But you know what? That's good. I need a brother like Ben to to go ahead and hit him with the points, and then I hit him over the head because, man, frankly, man, and I know Ben's upset too. But everybody's got their own delivery method. Everybody should be in their lane. And my thing is, there are people in the hood right now who are suffering due to the policies in the 90s. They're still suffering from it. When people ask the question, what's wrong with the communities? Where are the men at? They're in jail. And why are they in jail? Policies. Yeah. And who put the policies into effect? There you go. But they're voting for those people. It's crazy. And then instead of people realizing that, they say, well, he don't want reparations. So I'm gonna vote for her anyway. What the fuck? It doesn't make sense. It give you a headache. I need a massage. I need a Tylenol 16. I need a somebody help me.
Tim, I ain't got much for you tonight, man. I don't have beverage. Yeah, exactly.
I'll buy both of y'all an adult beverage tonight.
There you go. Maybe I need to do that when I get off the. Hey, look, man. Hey, Nambi and Carter, go ahead with your. I'll let you guys have the last word before we close out the show.
Okay. Carter and I and a friend put out a video on YouTube called "Don't Be a Sacred Hoe." In other words, don't swallow the Kool-Aid.
Right.
I'm going to say that to everybody else. Don't be a sacred hoe. They out there pimping you and you out there prostituting for them. Don't be a sacred hoe. Don't be a political hoe. Back up.
Where can I see that video?
Tell them what you're going to do for yourself and walk away. Go ahead, Carter.
What it been said?
I'm trying to see where can I see that video on your what's your channel on YouTube so I can find you?
YouTube.com/Mystical Carter, all lowercase, all one word.
Gotcha.
I'd say the same thing I've been saying when it comes to the politics. People, you got to pay attention to everything. Vote with sense. Not so much with your feelings. Your vote does matter to a certain extent because you're virtually in charge of the buffoonery that's been going on in Congress is because nobody got to the midterm elections. Everybody just voted for the presidency and just walked the hell away and expected President Obama to be Superman and criticized the hell out of him. Y'all could have made some very strong revolutionary moves that you backed the man up and did your part. So don't just say he dropped the ball when you didn't vote.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair, right, Tom?
I think it's fair, man. Look, guys, like once again, I appreciate you both.
They voted him in, and they left the Republicans that they knew were going to be against him on anything.
Yep.
In office. That shit don't match.
He could have executive ordered us some reparations, though.
He could have tried. There would have been roadblocks, government shutdown.
Right.
Militias running wild everywhere.
Right.
You know.
No. You know what it would have been, and this is something we didn't bring up, Ben. But let me say this just before you guys go. All these then we'll find out how many Rachel Dolezal people we really had then. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because the same thing happened with the Native Americans. All of a sudden, everybody was 1/16th Indian.
Yeah,
you feel me?
That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
Hey man, I'm just saying that's what happens. I mean, we've already proven, but they say that the color is not based on skin tone, right? Isn't that what we're saying now? So I mean, that's another wrinkle. That's another conversation. I don't want to get y'all going, but I'm just saying they're saying ethnicity is not just based on skin color. So hey, all right now.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
You don't want us to get into the origin of black genetics.
You guys are crazy.
You don't want us to get into the genetics tonight, man?
Nah, bro, don't do it, bro. Don't do it, man. I love Francis Cress Wellesley, but I'm not ready for it tonight, man. Look, give it up for my friends, Mystical Carter and Nambi, because they'll try to go, man. But I love Francis, man. I'm going to go to her. I'm going to go to the ceremony for Miss Welsing here in D.C. That's coming up in a week or so. But Ben, man, first of all, Ben, you got to give us all your contact information. You got to tell everybody where to go, when to have their ass there, what they need to bring to come to the Ben Dixon cookout.
All right, so you can't watch me on YouTube because my show is at the same exact time as Tim Black Live. I'm on Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you don't catch me live, which you shouldn't, you need to stay here and support his channel. You can catch my shows. We clip them up and you can watch them on YouTube at your leisure. But then if you want to see somebody slamming down on stupidity, just stuff that doesn't make sense, I don't care. I don't care if it's coming from somebody I like. I don't care if it's coming from somebody I used to trust or whatever. We're going to tell the truth. Come follow me on Twitter at the BPD Show. We have a good time over there just speaking truth. And you can go to the BenjaminDixonShow.com, of course, or you can go to the ProgressiveArmy.com. We have a lot of great writers over there who are putting out some really great content. And so that's where you can find me. I'm online 24 hours a day because my phone is next to me 24 hours a day. So you can always get up with me. I read my comments and everything else and engage fully. So that's it, man. I'm just rambling on because I've been up since 5:30 this morning, and I'm going to have to get up in a few more minutes. So.
Wow. Hey, look, man, all I can say, Ben, man, is thank you again for your time, my brother. It was great. It was great having you here. We need to do this again. Hey, man, I'm so impressed with you, man. I consider you like a brother at this point, man. My callers loved you. I can already tell. I've been looking at my chat room. People are giving you love on Meerkat. You just tapped into a whole new audience, and I believe in sharing like. You know, there's more than one channel on your dial, and I'm all for that, man. Yeah. We support you, man, and we're going to continue to do so, okay? No doubt, man.
Tim, let me say this real quick because I was talking about me, but I want to thank you. Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate you reaching out to me a long time ago before I even had 500 followers. You were you connected with me, so I appreciate it, and let me know what I can do for you.
No doubt, man. You got it, man. Give it up, my friends, for my man Ben Dixon, y'all. Give it up for Ben. Come on, y'all. One more time, man. Come on. Woo! What time is it? Almost 12? Well, look, guys, it's been a phenomenal show. I want to say this, man. Last night, man, we had a great show as well. It was a good show, heated show. And, look, everybody's learning as they go. Everybody's doing what they can do. I want to first give my utmost respect to my friend When I Rap. When I Rap is a young guy who's doing a lot. He's working, he's promoting kids, he's dealing with stuff, and then he got to come here and deal with us. And I just want you to know, When I Rap, that I value you, sir. I value your help. I value your support. I value your time. I value your solidarity. We may not always agree, but I'll always respect you. And sometimes I am theatrical. And sometimes I am, putting on a little bit of a show, but I must. Because I believe, like my mama taught me, you want the kids to take their vitamins, they better taste good. So I try to entertain as much as I try to educate. That's what I do here. You just happened to catch a little bit of heat yesterday, but believe me, I give it to anybody. Anybody can get it. I'm an equal opportunity heat giver. That's what I do, man. But there's nothing but love for you here When I Rap, and I think we need to give you a round of applause. I told you I was going to do it. All things in due time, my brother. That's right. Tonight was an example of what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do with this channel. I do not, I'm not worried about, I'm evolving into a position where I feel like, can't nobody hurt me. You know what I mean? And I'm not out to hurt anyone. I'll joke about people and make cracks and disagree with people, but I fundamentally support Ben Dixon because, first of all, he makes me proud when I hear him rattling off his thoughts in such a cohesive manner, and I can just tell his sincerity. I just recognize real. I don't have to agree with everything, but I recognize real and sincerity in this young man. So I want to support him. And look, man, ain't no reason for you to just, you can subscribe to as many channels as your damn feed will allow. Only person I'm competing with is myself, and I wanted to demonstrate that tonight. I already knew when Ben comes on. I knew Ben comes on the same time I do. But see, that's the test of a man. Am I willing to bring that man on this platform knowing some people might go watch him? Yeah, I'm willing to do that because the message is so important. I wanted him to articulate the need for you guys to go vote, that it supersedes my desire to have you watch a show every night. Okay? And that's, you know what? Like Rob says, Tim, you're in a position where I'm not going to go too far. I'll just say this. Rob, I heard you when you said you're in a position where you need to, have these certain qualities. And I'm not going to go further. You know our conversation. And I want to live up to that. So we got to do what we got to do. And I wouldn't feel right if some people sat home without having been exposed to some different ways letting it be articulated. But once again, man, I do not hear these people with media platforms articulating to folks all the choices in a manner that I thought was fair. You need to hear the truth about Hillary and then make a decision. You may still decide I want to vote Hillary, I don't give a shit. But at least now you do so with an open mind. Now you do so with a balanced amount of information to make an informed decision. That's all. I want to show you a few cars on the lot. Don't just just some of y'all buying a car without even driving it. You ain't even test drive, you ain't sit in it yet. I can show you here go the Carfax. The Carfax. Look at the Carfax. Wrong with you? Who shop nowadays without looking at the Carfax? That car got water damage. It's got water damage, damn it. And y'all gonna buy it. So at least let me share that with you. And maybe I did change your opinion, Big Cat. But damn it, some of y'all got the Carfax whether you wanted it or not. I'm Tim Black. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure what the topic will be, but if you would like to have your input on what the topic should be, you go to facebook.com, Speak On It group. That's my group. It's hosted by my man Montague, who doesn't believe Bernie is a democratic socialist, not a real one. But he's a Jill Stein supporter, and maybe we should write her in, okay? Shout out to Montague. Go to Facebook, Speak On It group, and log in there and join the group. I'm tired. I'm going to go get me a drink. I'm sure Ben is going. Go ahead and kick back, kick his shoes off, chill out. Same thing for my man When I Rap. And like we say every night, Meerkat.
Sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here.
Let's sprinkle some crack on him and get out of here. I'm tired, man.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.
Shout out to all my callers tonight, keeping it very civil. We had guests in the house. I appreciate y'all, Alex, Montague, Nambi, Carter, Los, my man Los. Hey, Los, making $100,000. Man, I'm come looking for you, bruh. Come on now. Give me fight, boy. I need a donation. I need a PC, Los. Making all that cheddar. Holla at your boy. I'm joking. Nothing but love for you, boy. Nephew. I'm probably missing some people. Oh, Linda from VA. Showing love. My friend Kim Santana. Money Making Santana. Love you, girl. Keeping it real always. And anyone I miss, it's not out of. I'm coming from a place of sincerity and love. It's not intentional. I'm just getting old. You'll do the same thing when you hit above 40. Meerkat people, what y'all talking about over there? My bad, y'all. Oh, Junior. What's up, Junior? What's going on, Junior? Fearless leader. We need one. Shout out to Olga Ramirez. Eric Shane, 45. How you doing? Coach Dupree. My man Mirad Runori. Why didn't you call in, Runori? Chorizo, Lydia. Good to see you. My man. Oh, my man. Brooklyn, man. What's up, Brooklyn? You know what time it is, man. Landing Point. And Joe. I think it's Joe. Nas Chart Inc. Joe. It's all love, man. And let me quickly jump over here to YouTube, man, and shout some people out, man. Last but not least, man, but I got to give it up to the beast from the East. Aaron Singh. Not a voter unless he gets a new name. I don't know what that means. Savage Tillery. Where is Meerkat? Meerkat is an app that people use on their mobile device. Savage. And they're able to get the show on their mobile phone. I think you do the same thing with YouTube, but it's just the app. It's real cool. I got a lot of followers over there. They're really cool. They're real supportive. And I encourage you to get the app. But Liberty not a license. Liberty not a license. How you doing, Lib? All my people, man. NFO, Obadiah, Monday is the Iowa caucuses. Dark Rizzo, Mike, what's up, man? How's it going, Mike? 5154 Life. My man Bass, how low can you go? Man, I got my whole crew in the house, man. Terrence, I'm going to take this mixer back, guys. I got the mixer, Ben. I just need a better one. I got an 8-port mixer. I need a 12-port. So I got to take that back. I got to get another PC. I think you know how your setup is. We'll talk, man. I got to up my quality. My heart's big, but my quality is not so big. So I need to get my quality up. Hey, look, man, I could say, hey, man, it's what it is, man. You crawl before, you got to walk before you crawl. I'm cool with that. NFO Bang, Eclectic Tyrone. What up? Y'all see how I gave that love back? Oh, also, Gabby, if you happen to be in the house, Gabby, I want you to know I'm sorry. You were in the line of fire. I was shooting that rap. I just thought, you caught a stray. I ain't mean it, girl. I don't know you, but now you're a part of the family. And my apologies to Gabby. Keep coming through, okay? We need you too. One voice. All voices are important here. La boom boom. La boom da boom. La boom da boom. Damn. La boom da boom. Who was that? Okay. And yeah, I see it's a lot going on in this chat room. I hope I got everybody. Terrence Strait, Samadahi. I don't know who that is. Nice to meet you. New people. Lost Joe. And yeah, it's a lot of people, man. I hope I got everybody. Let me scroll back down to the bottom. Make sure I got most people anyway. Hey, yeah, there you go. See, everybody loves that. Everybody likes a shout out. I know when I go to people's shows, I like people to recognize I'm there too. That's the thing. And Ben said he checks his comment sections as well. So that's a trademark of a person who cares about his people and is not removed, from the people that make them great. Because we don't, like I say all the time, man, this ain't about me. This is about we. All right? We the people. I'm gone, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. I could just keep going and going, but I'm going to stop. Mysticals. So you don't want us to start talking about epigenetics, do you? We can go. Carter crazy, man.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Peace, y'all.